Now scream queen with a million smiles. Catching all the love from around the world. Whoa. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? Shine your light in the darkest times. You make it bright, bright. Live stream dreams, we're all by your side, by your side. Keep on doing what you do, girl. You're one of a kind, one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're our live stream star. Keep rocking your show, no matter where you are. From the block, Jersey girl with a mouth that won't stop, no, no. Sassy, and I'm not afraid to show it. Gonna spill the tea, you better be ready for it. I speak my mind, no filter inside. Shelly's in the house, talking trash and truth, no sugar-coated blues. Something to Shelly's in the house, time to break the rules. From halls to the city, I'm the queen of cool. You can handle the heat, then take the high. Shelly's in the house, drop the mic. Hey, Shelly in the house tonight. Living it up, feeling so right. Yeah. New Jersey girl, she's got that style. Live stream queen with a million smiles. And she know the love from around the world. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? It's time to make it right. Live stream queens, we're wayside. You're one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're a live stream star. Keep rocking your show no matter where you are. Hey, everybody. What's today? Wednesday. Happy hump day. I keep trying to think, is it Tuesday or Thursday? But I forgot this was an extra stream. I made a promise, so here I am. This is Shelly, your mouthy mama, talking trash and truth, and you've come to Coffee and Chaos with T3. That's me. Today's about generosity and appreciation when stepping back is the best choice. And just to be clear, this is not telling anybody not to help anybody. This is going to explore the difference between when people can't do for themselves or can't change and when they won't. It's a choice when they choose to repeat the same patterns, even though they know better, they've been told better, they've been advised better, they've been given other options, and they still choose the path that makes them dependent on other people. So today we're going to be going into how to offer support and healing when able and how to step back and when you should step back. And again, this is all just my opinion, but there you go. It is 12:04 p.m. and I am coming to you from a very balmy 55-degree rainy South Central Pennsylvania. It's beautiful up here in the mountains. Everything's starting to bud, which I kind of feel like Mother Nature's jumping the shark a little bit because there's going to be another cold snap. So everything's budding and then it's just going to die again and then come back a second time. It just seems like so much energy to waste. Anyway, today is March 5th, 2025. And if you're out there, make sure you say hi. If you're lurking, that's fine too. I love lurkers. Let's see who's here. We got Wolfram dropping links like it's hot. Thank you very much. He wipes his paws, lopes in, lopes in what? No, he wipes his paws, lopes in, and he... I'm a little shungad today. I didn't sleep a whole lot. I tried to sleep a whole lot and it just didn't happen. And hi, Wolfram. How are you? Thanks for being here, honey. Then we got Vice Baby. I'm never not going to sing that after I say that name, at least the first time. Every time. You got a little kitty in a box. Sometimes the kitty is the box. I don't know why I said that. My filter is not engaged today at all. And we got my girl Heidi. Heidi ho. How you doing, babe? Thank you for being here. Glad you're here. We got Snipperoony. Hi, Shelly. Vice baby. Hope you're having a blessed day so far, Miss Shelly. I am. It's Wednesday. I'm doing Wednesday things. It's been a slow start today. I've been up for a really long time, but I just can't seem to move out of that molasses stage of life. He said, I'll be lurking and listening. You only come here for the voice. That's it. That's fine. Listen, I don't care why you come here as long as you come here to listen and you hang out. Just be cool and we're all good. Glad to have you here. Um, you're funny. You said Miss Shelley, and I'm like, oh, I miss my kindergartners. I do. I miss my kindergartners. Doo, 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 doo. I think that's it for saying hi. So just laughing at me. Heidi loves to laugh at me. I know I give you so many like faux pas to laugh at. Heidi said, "Well, in all firmness, Jesus Christ, I can't. In all fairness, I mean, I'm sure there's firmness too, but whatever. Let me not go down that path. Well, in all fairness, my filter has been broken the last couple of days. It's not that mine has been broken the last couple of days. I can't give a shit anymore. I really don't. People are pushing me to my goddamn limit. So it's like, you really don't want to get me to that point. You really, really don't. Because that's when the hysterical laughter and the bitchiness comes out where I just tell you all about yourself. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. My Wolfram and my Heidi. What is going on with the triplicate? Is there something going on with YouTube? Can you hear me? Hiya, Shelly. Hiya, Shelly. Hiya, Shelly. Hiya, T3. Hi, T. Okie dokie. We're doing things in triplicate now. What do we work for the government? I'm just wondering. Vice baby said, who's pushing you? Who we gotta fight? Oh, please. The people who push my buttons don't even realize they're pushing my buttons. And I warned them. And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like that. Just stop doing that. And they just keep doing it. And then there's just inconsiderate people. It's just that inconsideration of other people really bothers me. Because I get up here and believe it or not, I really do have a very high functioning filter. There are many things I want to say and don't because I don't want to offend people that I care about. And I keep track of everybody that comes to chat and the things that I know about them and things that are important to them. I make sure that I give that the respect it deserves, and I try not to say anything that's, too counter to their belief system while still, expressing my own. It's not that I don't like to cause waves because sometimes I just like to fight, but I do like to be very considerate of other people's feelings and their needs. And it just I don't get that in return a lot in real life. And it gets on my nerves. And sometimes people bring up subjects that they know nothing about, and then I get aggravated and I want to fight them, and I won't because that's a bad look. I used to just fight everybody, but I don't have that kind of energy anymore. I just don't. It's like, okay, you obviously need to win your side of the fight. Go ahead. It's fine. I know I'm right. That's all that matters to me is that I know the truth. If you're not ready to embrace it, I can't help you. I can give you the truth. I can give you another way out. I can give you options. I can't make you take them. I can't make you listen. I can't make you learn, which is sad coming from a teacher. But I can't. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. T-Rex. He said, good afternoon. Is it afternoon, really? I mean, technically. Oy. Eris, hello. How are you? How are you? Just following the ringleader. Every follow the leader. Uh, I hope everybody's doing well today, and I hope you're having a good day, Iris. Thank you very much. Uh, Everybody's just saying hi, so that's cool. I was looking to see how did you guys um, feel about the speech last night? I thought it was quite good. I mean, I cried like 5 times, which was unexpected because generally when a politician gets up to talk, I'm bored more than anything else. With Trump, I'm usually amused because he makes me laugh because, New Yorker. And if anybody's going to appreciate that northern aggression, it's me. So when he does his little clapbacks and digs and, zingy one-liners, I get very happy because I'm like, oh, it's like, it's like we come from the same place. Because I get him. I understand him. And I understand the anger and I understand where he's at now. Like the very first speech he gave, I said, wow, Donald gives no fucks anymore. He's just like, I'm just going to be me. And if you don't like it, too bad. I'm already elected. They really, they really put on a thing last night between the Republicans actually acting, you know, warm and whatever, despite what other people like to think. Because I found that conservatives tend to be very accepting and warm and whatever. They're based. But that's not how you see it when you're a liberal. Liberals see Republicans as they only care about money. They only care about themselves. They only care about their portfolios. Like that's what I was taught growing up. No Republican is ever going to care about another human being. All they care about is the almighty dollar. That's what I was taught. That's what I was taught. They don't care about people. They don't care about situations. They don't care about anything. They just love war and money. And here we come to find out, now that I've, you know, been had my eyes opened, I guess. Um, all they want to do is save money from being wasted, keep it in every citizen's pocket because we work hard for it and they're recognizing that. And they care about the wars in other countries, but they don't care about who wins them. They want them to end. That's all they care. They care about life and they care about liberty and they care about happiness. And they really are sticklers for what's in the Constitution. They're like, dude, look, we have a contract right here. This is legal. Everybody signed it. We signed on for it. We, fought a war for it. We voted for it. We embraced it. This is the code we want to live by. And this is the legal code that we have, every right to live by. You're not allowed to counter that legally. And they're going out and they're saying this. And that's all they're really pushing for. They're pushing for things to be correct, for the world to, you know, basically reflect the people in it, which the majority of people tend to be typical. They all want the same things. They want to be happy. They want their freedoms. They want their rights respected. They're not out there trying to push an agenda down somebody's throat to change their fundamental belief system, their vocabulary, all these different things. And the Democrats, that's what I was raised believing the Democrats wanted. I since I could understand words, my family has been pushing this down my throat that Democrats are for the good. They're for people. They have heart. They're wonderful. And now I'm looking around and I'm like, well, maybe for a short period of time, they kind of hopped, skipped, and jumped around in that playground. But now, not so much. Not so much. They've gone the other way. Like they've gone so far to the left, you can't even see them from the base of the Democratic Party anymore. Like you just can't. There's some original Democrats sitting there going, I know we're just as fucked up as everybody else, but what the hell are they doing? Like, where'd they go? Where'd everybody go? We stand for stuff. What do we stand for? We stand for the Ukraine war because God forbid that little money washing machine stops running. Um, And we stand for replacing hardworking Americans who pay their taxes and give into the system and, make sure everything is running, even though we don't know how to run it correctly. Um, the Dems, they want to give it all up to people who weren't born here, came here illegally, committed crimes while they were here, committed a crime of just coming here. That's number one. That's a concept I don't understand why they don't get. They're like, stop calling them illegals. They didn't commit a crime. They did commit a crime. They breaking and entering of the United States. How about that? Since you don't like the whole illegal immigrant, okay, you don't want to say they invaded? Okay, breaking and entering, because that's what they did. Trespassing, that's what they're doing. Stealing, fraud, those are things that they're doing. Because I can't see them getting benefits as being anything but fraud and theft, because they're literally stealing out of the pockets and mouths of Americans. And it drives me crazy that nobody sees this, like, on that side. And they're, no, 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 no. How can you be so committed to a lie, to your own, through your own hubris, that you can't admit that your whole belief system is deeply flawed, that you're lying to the people that elected you? You're not representing the people that elected you. You're representing what? This teeny tiny fraction of wackadoos that said, oh, let's just vote all Democrat, because they're going to, DEI us in, and they're going to say that, I'm a girl when I'm a boy, and I'm a boy when I'm a girl. And I get to use words like cis and stuff like that. I fight with my son over it all the time. He's like, they're just words to you, because you didn't live a lifetime as one thing. Wake up one day and have some weirdo tell you you're something else. No, I am not something else. You don't get to put a label on me. You don't get to tell me what I am. And you sure as shit don't get to adopt what I know I am as your own. Because you're not. You didn't go through any of the woman things. You didn't do the vulnerability. You didn't grow up, knowing that at any moment there's a part of your body that anybody could violate and nobody's going to give a shit. They have no idea what real fear is. Oh, I'm afraid because I'm walking around and they called me a man. That's not fear. That's not fear. That's your ego tripping you up. That's you having, butthurt feelings because somebody called you something you actually are and burst your little fantasy bubble. That's what you're upset about. That's not fear. That's ignorance. That's arrogance. And it's disgusting. But the most disgusting thing was last night. I sat there proud as could be of my president, proud as could be of the cabinet that he appointed, that he picked, proud of my VP. I was even proud of the fucking Mike Johnson out of the speaker, because God knows I have not liked that man since the day I saw his face. I was like, he's Weasley looking. I don't trust him. And let's not get it twisted. I still don't trust him. But I like that he did that shit last night when he was like, no, we will have decorum. Where did the professionalism go? Where did dignity go? Because they checked out of government a long time ago, out of business completely. Casual Fridays was like the beginning of the end, I think. When I was little, my aunts, they always worked in Manhattan. And they always worked for like big companies, higher ups. And my mother too. There was a dress code in the business district. If you went to the business district, you didn't wear shorts. You didn't wear sneakers unless you were a messenger. You didn't wear like ripped jeans. You didn't have your titties like hanging out. None of that. You dressed executive attire. That was what you dressed in. Business attire. You were well put together. You were modest. You were clean. You looked like you showered today. Your hair was done, male or female. You were clean shaven if you were a male, or your beard and mustache were very well maintained. Like what they call it, comportment, I think. It was a thing, grooming of yourself, not somebody else grooming you for a purpose. You grooming yourself like hygiene, cutting your nails, making sure that, your clothes, I don't know, don't look like you've been wearing them for 4 days. All these things mattered. They reflected who you were, how serious of a person you were. They instilled, like this sense of trust in people that look like, oh, well, you look like you can handle your shit. So maybe I can trust you to handle mine. We can do business. Trump's aware of that. The only time you see him casual is when he's golfing or hanging out in like the woods of North Carolina, like going around looking at like different victims of, this disaster, that disaster. Then he's one of the people. He walks around looking like everybody else. Same thing with Vance. But for the most part, these dudes are dressed up. Their version of dress down during the day is loosening the tie a little, maybe the top button, and possibly taking off the jacket and rolling up the sleeves. Like that's where it ends. They're not lounging around Air Force One in their pajamas, eating like Cocoa Puffs, going, yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. They're serious. They have schedules. They have things to do. These guys get more done in a day than I've done in the last 3 years. I'll be perfectly honest. Now, I used to get a lot of stuff done, but now not so much. But last night, they were together. They were calm. They were chanting when they were supposed to be chanting, proud of their country. They celebrated, that little boy, the 13-year-old boy who has brain cancer, who, his only dream was to be a cop, and they made him a Secret Service agent. I thought that was amazing. I cried like a little bitch. Oh my God, I cried. I cried for the firefighter that passed away in Butler when they tried to assassinate the president. I cried for Jocelyn, for her mother, and for the sister that was there. Like I bawled my eyes out for this 12-year-old girl because I remember the story. I remember what they did to her. I know that kind of fear, to know that there's a little 12-year-old girl going through that at that time, and then her life just, no matter what dreams she had, her life was just snuffed out because 2 people that we know of that weren't supposed to be here, who were here illegally, who were already a threat, decided to make her their target and end her life. Like, they had the power to do that. Well, they had the ability, but the power wasn't theirs. God took her home. And I hope God negated all her pain and everything in the end, so that basically she wasn't even mentally there when they were doing what they were doing. I pray for that, but I don't hold a lot of hope in it. But I'm watching all this, and I'm watching everybody come together, and I watched that little boy go over to the West Point, the future West Point cadet, because he just got accepted and found out there. That was awesome. And high five him. Like, that's the world I want to live in. That's the world I thought I lived in. And then you look over at the Democrats, and they're sitting on their hands, and they're on their phones, and they're looking like they're hungover, and they have little, paddles in the air. I saw a tweet this morning that, I mean, it was mean, but it was accurate. I don't really know if I can get away with saying it, but I'm going to say it anyway. You know me, I don't give a fuck. But they were like, look at the Democrats holding up their little paddles like they're still at the slave auction, because that's what they did. The Democrats were the ones that wanted the slaves. They didn't want to abolish slavery. Thomas Jefferson wanted to abolish slavery right in the Declaration of Independence. And the Democrats were the ones that said, no, we need them. We need them for the Civil War. Who was the one that wanted to keep the slaves? That was the Democrats fighting to keep the slaves. It was like, okay. So things aren't always as they seem, and people learn their history wrong. And then they won't let go of it when you tell them the truth. And no, but I heard, show me where. Show me where. You heard it. Okay, your teacher told you that, or that's how you remember your teacher telling you that. But most likely, yeah, your teacher probably just said that and just left out the parties and left you to assume which side was on which side. The parties aren't what they used to be. The parties don't really stand for much anything. They're basically just a label now. But the fact that they wouldn't celebrate these people that are Americans that they're supposed to be representing and fighting for to, give them everything they deserve constitutionally. The fact that they sat there and did nothing. The fact they showed up with the intention of being disrespectful to the President of the United States, the Commander in Chief, our Grand Poobah of the United States. All right. He is the head, whether you like it or not. Facts are facts. He's here, Jack. He ain't going nowhere. Keep pissing him off, though, and you're going to keep getting like a whole bunch of shit you don't want. We want it. But he's being nice. Believe it or not, I even know he's actually being kind of gentle. Because he could just go in and blow the whole shit up. He has the power to do that. He knows he's got a million lawyers on his side. He knows what laws are on his side. They're like, it's what he's doing is illegal. Yeah, not really. You really think he just woke up one day and said, I'm going to do this? No, he said, I want to do this. Ask the lawyers, get legal. What can I do here? Like, how can I go about this? That's why he has advisors. That's why he has a legal team. That's why he educates himself on what he could do. They go in there thinking he's just some bozo who said, with his finger up his nose, like, I'm going to do this today. No, that's not how it works. He doesn't just wake up and automatically this is what's going to happen. No, there's a lot of planning. There's discussion. There's a lot of consulting that goes on. And I'm sure if they thought about it, they'd have a problem with that too. Well, who is he saying it to? We want to know who he's talking to and what he's saying. Just because you're curious doesn't mean it's your fucking business. There are business deals, even with our government, that we're not going to be privy to for whatever reason, for national security, whatever. There are reasons for us not to know because let's face it, we all got big mouths and we run with shit before we understand it. So yes, sometimes you got to say, all right, I don't have all the ducks in a row. Like they can wait like 5 more minutes, like calm down. But to watch the Democrats get rowdy, knowing it's going to be televised, knowing everybody's watching, and they're getting rowdy and, they're booing and they're, jeering and yelling things out. You're literally in the Capitol building. You bitched and moaned about the quote unquote insurrection that didn't happen because it disturbed everything. What are y'all doing there? Because that was disturbing what was going on. That was cutting into the president's presentation. That was disruptive. That wasn't peaceful. As soon as Al Green stood up with his cane in his hand and started shaking his cane toward the president, I'm sorry, Secret Service should have just taken his ass out. I don't trust nobody with my president anymore. They should have tackled him and been like, nope, that was aggressive. That was physically aggressive. Start arresting people. You want to go out there and incite violence? Because that's what Maxine Waters does. That's what Jasmine, Crotch does. That's what AOC does. They all go out there and they're like, oh, you need to rise up and fight back with violently. You have to fight violently. They're like, oh, that's just, I'm being hyperbolic. No, that's most of the people you're talking to are TTD because you made sure they weren't educated because you fucked up the education system. So they don't understand what hyperbolic is. They don't understand sarcasm. They take everything literally. Oh, they said we have to be violent. Let's go be violent. Oh, but I can't afford it. Soros and all the rest come in and go, hey, no, I got you. Don't worry about it. Just give me the bill. I'll give you the supplies. You go do your thing. It's all for democracy. How about you kiss my ass? I have never been so disgusted by a group of people in my life. I am sad to say that they are representatives in the American governmental system. I was never so disgusted. When they sat there, when that bitch put her finger in her ear because it was too loud for her and rolled her eyes when that little boy was made a Secret Service agent. I wanted to put my fist through the computer. I felt extremely violent in that moment because how dare you? You lived your little sequestered rich girl life. You know what privilege is. You got up every morning and did your thing, and I got to do my Pilates. This is a 13-year-old who has been battling brain cancer for years, who had death looming over him and fought and won. Every moment he takes a breath, he is winning life. And he has a dream. And it's not to be some thug on the street. It's not to be like, the guy with the big gold teeth or with all the gold chains. He's like, nah, stereotypes aren't for me. I want to be a cop, man. I want to help people. I want to protect people with whatever time he has left. And they made that dream come true. And you saw his face. If you watched, you saw the shock and just like the oh my, and you felt it. You felt the oh my God, like this is not happening. Is it really? Like, no. Is it? Oh my God. Like you saw it, the way he hugged that dude, the Secret Service guy, the head of the Secret Service that gave him the badge. Like his little ID wallet. It was so cute. The way he hugged him, I was holding back tears like I was Misty. And then as soon as he leaned out and grabbed that dude, that was all she wrote for Shelly. I was bawling so bad. I was just like, it's all right, little man. Oh my God. I'm crying now. Like I legit have tears. Because it was one of the most wholesome things that I've seen in a long time. I don't care if they knew it would set up certain optics. They gave this little boy his dream and they put his face out there so that our entire nation could give him the love that he needs to get from day to day. Recognition for his fight to inspire other people who are out there with the same or even lesser fights to go, oh no, this kid is doing it. I gotta up my game, man. Like they gotta do this little dude proud. If he can do it, I can do it. That's the mindset. That's how people inspire you. They can't inspire you if you can't see them. We have to see more good things happen. Good things breed good things. I thought it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Jocelyn's mom, my heart broke for her. The West Point, the kid who's going to West Point, I felt so good for him because I remember when I got the acceptance letter to the college I wanted to go to. I remember how that made me feel. I remember seeing the envelope on the server. As soon as I walked in from the house, there it was. And I remember opening up and I broke down because I was like, oh my God, I did it. I knew how much work I put into it, but I didn't think it was going to be recognized by anybody else. So to get that recognition, to get that pat on the back, that attaboy, you did it. You're going. Keep going. We all want that. It was good to see that because you remember that that's possible for everybody. There was so much inspiration last night and then so much negativity. And we didn't supply any of the negativity. We didn't supply the ugliness. We didn't supply the hatred, the bigotry, since they like to use that word, the sexism, sitting there in their pink fucking outfits. Oh, we're all about women's rights. But yet you voted. Every single one of you Democrats voted against. You didn't sit it out. You voted against the bill that would have banned men from women's sports. So I guess you don't mind if your 9-year-old goes to a competition and gets the shit kicked out of her by a 9-year-old boy whose growth spurt is way above hers, whose muscle mass is, above hers and his strength is above hers, even though he says, I'm a girl. No, you're not. No, you're not. You are not a girl. An 18-year-old boy, going up against an 18-year-old girl. Stop. 30-year-old man going against a 30-year-old girl, a 30-year-old woman. Really? Men used to be protective of us, and the good men out there still are. I mean, how often have you had to pick up something and a guy sees it and goes, let me get that for you? Why are they doing that? One, to be gentlemanly, because they were raised right. And two, because they know they're stronger than you. Why should you possibly get hurt and strain yourself when they can pick it up with ease? Okay. That's a beautiful thing to do for somebody else. And it's not like we're losing anything. It's all about the give and take. We have strengths that they don't have. So yeah, there's certain things that we could do for them, just like there's certain things they could do for us. That's the way God made it. And instead they're out there, oh, I'm a girl. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not a girl. I don't see nearly as many girls out there going, I'm a boy. They're like, they're all like, oh no, I decided not to transition. Gee, I wonder why. Because you went from being a woman, which is a lot of work. It's a lot of work in life. We are responsible for a lot of shit. But then you go out there and you want to be a man and you suddenly realize I have to do just as much shit, only I'm not allowed to have feelings about it. And nobody gives a shit if my back hurts. Nobody gives a shit if I'm feeling emotional. Suck it up. You're a dude. Move on. That's what we tell our men. Now, while I don't want a man crying on my shoulder like some soy boy, I also want a man who's like, no, I feel things, but I'm dealing with it. Like, we could talk about it. I want them to be open. I don't want them to be a little bitch about it. The same way they don't want me to be all butch all the fucking time, ready to kick everybody's ass, including theirs. Does the feeling wash over me once in a while? Yeah. Should I go with it? Not so much. Anyway, I went off on a whole tangent for like a half an hour. I am so sorry. And I'm way behind in chat. Son of a bitch. All right, let me go all the way back. I apologize if you came in and I didn't see it, but I had a lot to say, and I'm not done. Hope you're having a good day. Da, 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 da. And T-Rex said, I've not slept enough any day this week yet. Yeah, I slept a lot for like one day, and then that was it. Hey, cool gamer, what's up? Iris, I couldn't. I ended up falling asleep right after I said hi. I figured that because you just disappeared from chat. I was like, she's knocked out or she got sidetracked. Because I know we all easily distracted. It's all right. Heidi said, Edith, hope the same for you, hon. I'm just finally having coffee. There you go. T-Rex is still laughing his ass off that congressman got dragged out of the chamber for shaking his cane. I really do wish that he got arrested because that is physically threatening. And you're physically threatening the president who has already survived multiple assassination attempts. So get the fuck out. Like, you know what? It seems like you have a temper problem. We used to lock people up for like a night. You remember that? If you were super drunk, you went in the drunk tank. If you were belligerent, you could just cool your heels overnight in jail just once. We'll let you out in the morning, but you're going to calm your ass down. Like, we don't do that anymore. It seems like nobody gets arrested except like rappers and freaking like anybody they could bring a RICO case against. Like, if you're a political dude that they don't like, or you're, anybody in the entertainment industry that they could take down like 30 some odd people without ever having their name brought up, then they do that. But if you're an illegal, like, assaulting people, oh no, slap on the wrist, go free. If you're a politician getting in another politician's face and you're just like screaming and lying your ass off, if you're a newscaster, up there saying horrible things about people that we all know are not true, perpetuating hoaxes that have been debunked for years and still just clinging to it like a kid clings to a friggin' like whoopee. Like, stop. Where are all the laws? God, arrest somebody. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm just waiting for people to just get arrested. Because otherwise, I don't care how bad you talk about them. That's not a consequence. There have to be consequences. This whole, oh no, we're just going to let it go for now because, I think they learned their lesson. Fuck that. No. I grew up getting punished. That's how I learned my lesson. Okay, I didn't like the punishment. So guess what? I'm not going to do the thing again. Oh my goodness. Maybe that's a strategy. Maybe it works. You think it works? I don't know. Oh, but that's very negative. Yes, you should have negative consequences when you do bad. And when you do good, you have good ones. And when you show up, you decide if you're going to be good or bad. You don't get a trophy just for showing up anymore. Fuck you. Over it. I never liked participation bullshit. You know what we used to get for participation? A t-shirt that had like the event on it. That was it. So, and everybody got one. Everybody that participated got a t-shirt or a hat or a pin. You didn't get a trophy just for showing up and then go, we don't really have winners because everyone's a winner. No, they're not. There are losers in this world. And if you don't recognize that, you're going to be one. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, but yeah, he didn't make me laugh. He made me furious. Snipperoonie said, yeah, he gave no fucks. Trump, yeah, he gave no fucks. None at all. It is said, I got dragged into a Zoom meeting. I had to potty the whole time. See, that happens sometimes like mid-show where I'm like, oh my God, I got to pee so bad. Then I get started talking and I forget. It passes. It's just like when you're drinking beer. If you don't get up and break the seal, you're fine. The feeling will pass. Just give it a minute. T-Rex said the best part of the speech was when Trump said the Democrats won't be able to clap or stand for anything I say. And it took all the wind out of their sails. I mean, the fact that he called them out and said, I know you're not going to celebrate anything. Like, I know you're not going to, applaud anything. Because you're never going to be happy with anything I do because I'm me. And I'm going to do the job whether you basically like it or not. So go fuck yourself. I mean, that's basically what he said. He was like, there's no pleasing you people, so I'm not trying. Fuck you. Like, I'm just going to ignore you like I would ignore any narcissist looking for their little supply. Because that's all they are. I know that word gets used a lot, but think about it. All they do is gaslight, project, abuse. They refuse to be happy for anybody who's successful that's outside their little inner circle. And even then, there's a pecking order. This one gets to be the most successful and everybody else has to fall beneath. Don't rise above me because I will trash you. That's how they operate. Lass. Hey, Shelly. Hey, chat. Just caught up to live. I'm glad you caught up because I'm behind by like half an hour. Of course I am. Because I wouldn't be me if I wasn't. Snipperoonie said there were a couple very emotional moments. Renaming the wildlife refuge was very touching. I did cry for that. Because just knowing that she was like a huge animal advocate, and I mean that hits me right in the feels. So when he renamed the refuge, after that, I was like, after her, I was like, oh, I was like, good. At least Jocelyn's got some place to play with the animals, right? Run around, her spirit can run around with deer and stuff. But it was very, very touching. And her mom, I give her mom a lot of credit because I don't think I could have held it together, especially in the face of those fuckers not applauding. I would have been on my feet like, how fucking dare that? The F-bombs would have been flying. I would have been in full guinea mode. Like, you would have seen that, fuck that half-finished, whatever my DNA says. I would have been full guinea. All my Italian, my ancestors would have been shouting out of my mouth. Like, no, you don't do this kind of stuff to kids. And they did it to 3 kids in a row. I don't care that the one is 18. He's still a kid. excited to get into West Point. It's a big fucking deal. He worked hard for that. And you can't clap? Really? Half of you have the clap. You mean you can't put your hands together and be like, fucking be a beatnik, snap your fingers, something, like pound your cane. I don't care. But make some goddamn celebratory noise. Nope, not a beep. It's the only time that they're ever shut the fuck up. Breathe. I need a minute because they aggravate me so much. And it aggravates me more because I've been over there and I've heard the things they say behind y'all's back, and it's worse than what they say to your face. They really do think that any conservative or Republican or independent or libertarian, demons, they're just demons. They think Green Party people are just stupid, but which they're kind of right. But anybody else, they really think you're demons and you need to be destroyed by any means possible. Because you're going to ruin the world. You're going to just fill the world with money and business and capitalism. I'm sorry. This is the United States of America. We were built on capitalism. I mean, that's how we became, like a power in the world. We didn't do it just by sitting around going, "Oh, I love you, bro. Can I borrow your dress? Sure, bro." Like, no, we didn't do that. We were strong. We commanded respect. We had dignity. We had unity. But we had capitalism because we're competitive as fuck. Our nation was great when we were competitive. Not when we went and outsourced everything and said, we're lazy, you do it. Oh, go send it over there. They'll do it cheaper. I don't want to do it for that amount. You don't want to do it for that job? What are you going to do? Sit home and play video games all fucking day? Oh, that's a life choice now? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. That's what they do. They sit around and they're like, I don't want to do it. We gave up that edge. Well, now we're getting the edge back. And people are pissed because they actually have to get off their ass and do something. Well, boo fucking who for you. But if you want a great nation, you got to be great yourself. It's not going to get that way on the backs of people who don't want to do a damn thing. Who just look around and go, oh yeah, make it as weird as you want. Nobody's going to notice. Do you're an individual. Like, again, with my line, I'm an individual. I'm a one of a kind. Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. Everybody's a fucking individual. Okay. You can all be an individual and all be fucking sheep at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive. Two things can be true at the same time. And that's what they've turned into. They're individuals in a sheep mindset. Like, that's all they do is just all the fucking time. All together now. Whatever. There's power in numbers and diversity. No, there's powers in numbers and unity. Because I could pick you off one at a time, but if I have to go up against 12 of you at once, I'm going to have a problem. It's going to be more difficult for me. But one at a time, I could 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 line them up, knock them out. But when you're all coming to me at once, then the odds are not in my favor anymore. I'm gonna have a problem. Wolfram said the demon rats showed the world who they really were and what they stand for last night. I really hope that it gets through to some of those people who think that they're still the righteous group. I hope they sit back and say, oh my God, what if that was my kid that they were celebrating and these fuckers aren't like saying anything? How fucking rude. How heartless and soulless do you have to be not to be moved by those stories? I wasn't expecting them to break out into song and sing Kumbaya, which, yes, it's Kumbaya because I'm Italian. Sit around and hold hands and twiddle each other's whatevers. Although they do that, I didn't expect them to do that and be like, oh, great for the kids. I didn't expect huge swells of emotion and compassion and empathy, but I expected them to have some common civility and human decency, which they didn't. So, note to self, they don't have that. It was really aggravating, and I had just it twists my gut so bad. Anyway, T-Rex Trucking and More with a $20 super chat. He's got $19.99. He said, "Happy Hump Day. Here's some money that I'm sure you will inevitably pass on to winning reality." Listen, it's not just winning. I go to other people's streams and buy memberships and whatever I get here, I generally distribute because do I need it? Yes, but do I feel other people need it? Is $5 going to make or break somebody? No. But getting a gifted membership or getting a $5 super chat might make their day. It might keep them streaming. It might be something that turns that negativity and self-doubt around and gives them that little boost, that little motivation they need to keep going. A little recognition, a little more confidence, a little more self-esteem. So yeah, you guys give it to me, and for the most part, I redistribute it. It's not that I don't need it personally. I do. But I can't take it with me. And there's nothing pressing that I need that I have to, like, buy right now. If I want something, I can wait. It's fine. Now, being generous like that makes me feel better because it's just going to sit in my account until I spend it on something that I probably won't use more than once or twice. And to me, that's wasteful. So yeah, if I can give it out and like boost somebody up a little bit, I'm gonna. But thank you very much, T-Rex, for your $20. So let's see, what can I play? Let's see, we got different super chats. I really like this one. But I'm going to play more than one. I'm going to do the other kitty cat one. And because you're my T-Rex, here you go. I know you didn't think I was just going to play cats for for a $20 super chat. No. I'm better than that. But thank you very much, T-Rex. You're very sweet. Last said, yeah, but to be fair, yesteryear's Republicans are today's Republicans. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see the parties as anything anymore. They're so mixed. Like they all want the same things, but they go about it a different way. And it's just weird. I don't know. I have a hard time with any of the parties nowadays because none of them stand for what you think they stand for because they were defined early and they just kind of clung to those even though they changed. So it's like, eh. But again, like the Republicans could be exactly as they were before. The fact of the matter is I was always on the liberal side, so I never understood what they really were. I didn't know what a conservative was. Like, I didn't know what they stood for. We didn't have words like, oh, trad wife or trad husband or whatever. We didn't do any of that. We just did what we were told. Like, you grow up, you go to school, you listen to your mother and father, you try to be good. You don't be, much of a badass as a teenager. You go to college if, that's in the plan. If you're really brainy, they make you go to college. If you're stupid, they just say, oh, don't worry about it. Go to secretarial school, which I hate to tell you, not any easier than college. So like whoever thinks being a secretary is easy is deluded because God, the things you have to do. Then you meet a man, you get married, you have a bunch of babies, you raise your babies go off, you and your man are together. He retires, you guys go off and you buy something in Florida, you move to Florida and you go on cruises and you go to early bird specials and that's life. Like that's basically what I was told. And then when you die old and together and oh yeah, I hate you, but I love you, but I love you. And you know, you're an old bickering couple that everybody goes, oh, I want that. You know, like that was what I was sold from the moment I was born. And life didn't turn out like that. You know, so at 50 years old, I'm redefining everything I ever knew. You know, what did I want? What did I give up? What are these people? What are those people? Like, and I'm trying more and more not to use labels because the labels don't match the complexity of the groups. Labels are simple. People and groups are complex. They're complicated. You know, they're sophisticated. They're nuanced. And one label just doesn't cover that. And they try to do that. And that's where we get fucked up. Hey, Lefty, how you doing? What's up? You coming in with watermelons? Would you bang it in a door? I mean, if it's red and swollen and green on the outside, you might want to see a doctor. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Usually you come in with an eggplant, and now you're coming in with watermelon. So, and if it has seeds, well, that just means she spits, right? Because never swallow the seeds. Uh, it is said, funny, for years, presidential candidates used to call them what they were, illegal immigrants. Even Obama, they ran on it. Yep. And then the feely feels got in the way. Oh, yeah, because you can't offend nobody. I hate the politically correct bullshit. When Bill Maher first had his show, it was on Channel 5. It was called Politically Incorrect. And I used to watch that show because he said all the shit that nobody else would say anymore. Whether he was right or wrong, it didn't matter. I was just like, oh my God, just somebody just say what's on your mind. I can disagree with it or agree with it, but I just want to sit here and listen to somebody say the truth. Like, don't candy coat that bullshit. Stop it. Stop blowing smoke on my ass. Like, unless I ask you to, don't do it. But uh Lefty Low, yep, he has a gaming channel, great relaxation. You should go there. Do. I'm proud of Mike Johnson. Say that 5 times fast. Nope, because I know where you're going with that. Again, no. Mm-mm. That's like when Mike Hunt comes to the comes to the chat. He's like, say my name. I'm like, Mike Hunt. I won't say them together because I know he just wants me to say it like that. It's like, eh. However, when Inya's husband comes in, I will say, hey, it's you, Janus. So, because that's his name. You, Janus. You, Janus. I love that dude. Like, I love that name. It just, I don't know. It's just hilarious every time I read it. I feel super cold out by Shelly right now. I'm a truck driver. I always look to. Oh, you feel called out, not cold out. Called out. We're gonna have to do something about your accent. Can we teach your phone to like envelop, like to embrace your accent? Because for the most part, my phone knows my Jersey accent. I could say tired and it still writes tired. Like I could say coffee and it writes coffee. Like it knows. It knows. Um, you always look disheveled. But dude, you're a truck driver. You're not appearing before like a Senate committee or a congressional committee or the president. Like you're not in the Capitol building right now. If you were in the Capitol, I'm pretty sure you'd brush your teeth, comb your hair at least a little. Uh, Heidi said I dozed off between last chat and Farrell. Oh, okay. Disheveled. I knew what you are. Lefty, that's not even casual. No, I know. It's just bummy. That's what we used to call it. That was like Sunday bummy. That was at college. You didn't want to like get up. You just partied the whole Saturday night through. You were wearing a hoodie. If you were a girl, usually your hair was up in like a scrunchie in a big mop on top of your head. You had sweatpants on, trainers, like sneakers, and you were just like, I don't want to go anywhere. Oh, got to go to breakfast. I don't want to go to breakfast. Bring me back something. Like that was that attire. Now they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to a business deal. Fucking Adam Sandler went to the Oscars. in a hoodie and basketball shorts. I was like, what does he think he is? Fetterman? Like Fetterman shows up to shit like that. He showed up at the inauguration like that. Like, I mean, this dude is touched, but I mean, at least he's missing that giant thing on his neck now. Um, Edith said, I'm doing okay, hun. Keeping busy working. Today's supposed to be an off day due to weather, but yeah, no. Oh, nobody's ever off. I attract sleepers. Nice. You attract sleepers, and my voice apparently puts people to sleep, which I can guarantee if you said to anybody from my home, like from Hoboken, they'd be like, Shelly's voice puts you to sleep. Are you narcoleptic? Like, or are you just deaf? Because they would never think that. Shelly's voice is soothing. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. In fact, they're the ones that tell me to be quiet. It's like, fuck you. It's the calm voice and game noises. Nice. I managed to go to bed around midnight last night, which is super early for me. Nice, T-Rex. Yeah, that's why I try not to listen to myself. Oh, Lefty. T-Rex must have switched places with you. T said, I saw like 9 different prominent Democrats give the exact Saints little talk as like a TikTok video. What? What are you talking about? Exactly right, Shelly. Not mean, just a dig. Shelly, stop speaking truth. YouTube will stifle your voice. Nah, I don't have 1,000 subscribers, so they don't give a shit about me. Shenny, what's up, honey? Thank you, Heidi, for DMing me my notice. This is why I'm at bed. You're so funny. I'm glad you're here, Shetty. Glad you're here. Morning here behind. For fuck's sake, I cried last night. Hold on. What? Open the door.
Where are they?
What?
Where are they?
The DMV. I'm live.
How long have they been gone?
Like an hour. Maybe an hour and a half.
When do you think they'll come back?
I don't know. I'm live. Go away. Love you. Oi, they just. My mother went to the DMV. I'm hoping she's out all afternoon. Elephant, morning here, behind, lurking, and for fuck's sake, I cried last night. I cried like 5 times. It was great. I was really moved by the entire thing. And let me tell you something, that speech was long, but it went quick. I was legit sitting here just like waiting for the next thing he was going to say. And I'm not usually that excited about political speeches, but that one it was really, really good. Shane said, hey there, T3 girl, you know you're going to be joining me in a few, right? Ooh, rub-a-dub-dub. 2 girls in a tub. It's stand up in the Rainbox time suit. Nice. Nice. Hugger buggers. Thanks for the wake up alarm. So much for the Demon Rats vaulted decorum last night. Right? I was waiting for somebody to say, excuse me, like a little professionalism. When he finally said, you will show decorum, basically that this space deserves, this time and place deserves, or the sergeant at arms will escort you out. That dude was like, man, you ain't gonna. Bye. Bye, Felicia. Bye, bitch. Like, oh, I was so happy. I was like, hit him. I was. Because it was just so rude and obnoxious. It's like, that was the problem. It was so obnoxious. Anyway, Lefty said, how about them not stand up and clap for the 13-year-old? Yep, just because he likes Trump. A new low for Democrats. I don't think they could get much lower. Exactly. Ellie said the Democrats were for slavery. Now they're for modern slavery. They haven't changed. Nope, they really haven't. They really haven't. And they insist on telling huge demographics, like huge swaths of people, well, we're trying to like get you to do all this for free and we want to like dumb you down. And they're telling them what they're doing. They're like, but it's good for you because you can't make your own decisions. So just do what we tell you to do and everything will be fine. You'll get along just fine. You know what they say, you'll own nothing and be happy. It's the bugs. They proved why they shouldn't be in office. Oh yes, they cannot have power. That's one thing I am absolutely convinced of. They cannot be allowed to have any type of power anymore. I'm sorry. They just can't. I'm all for everybody having an equal say or whatever. Fine, you can say your piece, but that's it. Like you have free speech, go ahead, talk. But you don't I don't want you to have the power to back that shit up because it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Crockett and Werewolf are an embarrassment to Texas. Absolutely, Ellie. I don't know how, and they're both Dallas, right? Like, what goes on in Dallas? Is it like a cesspool or what the fuck? Because they can't represent the people there. Um, Andrea, hey, honey. What a little battler, and those scumbag ferals couldn't clap for him. Yep. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I was so upset. I cried at those moments too. Oh, Heidi. Um, 300 hours here Thursday. Who wants Wednesday's lotto numbers? You're funny. Oh, look at that. Andrew with the $2 Aussie bugs. Three-legged races. Three-legged races. What clip do you want? Uh, we can have, let's do the man one. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your super chat. There's that one. And all I do is win, no matter what. All I do is win. And then there's my favorite. I'll play you my favorite. Sorry, I got into the dance. Thank you very much. Thank you for the $2 super chat. And I just saw a yellow. And we got salt for the Dems. And so we got a $10 Aussie bucks. Let's see. Let's give you something.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Thank you very much, Andrew, my Aussie friend, for your Aussie bucks. We got money from down under. We got the thunder from down under. Salt for the Dems. I hope they were all crying last night. And I hope they're crying more this morning when they see how people reacted to their bullshit last night. Andrea, note to self, you cannot light a smoke with a torch. Teach me to sit in the dark. Yeah, no, you light your hair on fire that way. Don't do that. You're fucking killing me. Oh, that took me by surprise. All right. That was funny. Thank you for that. Participation trophies only teach them how to be entitled. Yeah, teach them how to be spoiled. I mean, lots of us were spoiled or brats, but we still had to work for what we had. They just get everything handed to them with no muss, no fuss, and it's just like, really? Because life is not like that. Like we're letting you do that as kids. You are completely unprepared for life. And you are going to have a very rude awakening, and I feel bad because like I overcompensated for being neglected as a child. Because I didn't think it was right to have to learn how to cook at 3. But, so I didn't let you learn until you were way older. And it's like, oh, shit, I should have started when she was 3. These poor kids. I feel terrible. I do. I feel terrible. Andrew said it's a wonder that they don't hand out trophies along with their victim card at birth. At this point, that's right. Wolfie said at birth. Well, after birth, it's called public and higher education. Yep, they just continue it. Much higher education. The Green Party people kind of are. I mean, but it's true. Like they're fucking weird. They have no pulse. Nope. No. This country was built on slavery. That's Crockett said that today, didn't she? Um, or no, she said it yesterday, and I saw it this morning. She said something about we shouldn't have to pay taxes because we built this motherfucker, meaning the country. And I'm like, wait a minute, who built it? Because there weren't that many slaves compared to everybody else. And I'm not negating anybody's struggle. I don't want to hear any bullshit about it. But no, it was the British and the Europeans that came over here and said, "Oh, let's build it up since it's all just land. Let's build it up, put cities and like put families here and farming communities here and industry over here. Let's have trade routes. Let's have transportation. Let's build roads." Like they made it a civilization. They made it that way. They built the country. Now, did they use other people for labor? Yes, but they weren't just one demographic, which is something that really pisses me off. They used the Irish, they used the Italians, they used the Germans, they used whoever they could get their hands on for free. It didn't matter. See, they weren't racist. They were just, pieces of shit who used humans like cattle. They didn't care what color you were. Whatever was the soup du jour of the day that they could get for the lowest price or for free, that's what they did. They used everybody. That's what they did. But did they all build the country? No. No. Everybody had their role to play. I'm sick of this whole, it's all because of me. No. Everybody's replaceable, even back then. If you disappeared, if they disappeared, then somebody else would have been put in their place. Everybody was interchangeable. Didn't matter. One day you're rich, the next day you're poor. They don't give a fuck about you anymore. Money, power, status. It's literally a hill of shit. That's all it is. There's no stability to it whatsoever. It's like trying to stand on a leaf of grass and have it hold your whole body up. Like that's how unstable that is and how easily it's gone. How you treat other people, who you are inside, those are the things that last. Your belief in life, your belief in those around you, your belief in yourself, your belief in God. Those are things that stay, that are constant. And still they need work. Nothing's permanent. Hell, we've proven even death isn't permanent now because they can bring you back. Not always, but a lot of the time. There's no permanence. So to think that you're like this essential linchpin or that your people, without them, none of this would be possible is bullshit. It's just self-aggrandization. Like that's all you're doing. You got these delusions of grandeur that, I'm just without my people. I can say the same about Italy and pizza or Italy and, like sfogliatelle or spumoni or pastacciotto or whatever. Like, and of course I'm talking about all Italian food because that's what we're known for. But I can say the same thing. Does it make it true? No, somebody else would have thought of it. Everybody who thinks that they're the first or only to do something, you weren't. You weren't. Life goes way back on this planet. And there's so much that we didn't document. There's no way that anybody's the first anymore. That you're the only one. You're the only one that got heard of. You're the only one maybe. But that's about it. Yeah, because cotton is what turned this country powerful. Oh, Lord. If that were the case, the South would have won the fucking war. I mean, they had, charm. They had their beliefs. They had, what do you call it? They had their gentlemanly ways. Like they had their pride, all that. What they didn't have was supplies, clothing, and ammunition. So it was, they weren't gonna win because they didn't have the tools that they needed to win that war. Well, easy on the shitting on video game. I'm not saying that. I know tons of people who play video games. I play the damn card and puzzle games all day long to keep my brain from turning to mush. But there are people who just, that's it. They're like, I'm not working, I'm not socializing, I'm not coming out to eat, I'm not doing chores. Just clean around me and keep bringing me endless like food and drink and whatever. And occasionally I'll get up to go, pee and shit, and that's it. Like that's their whole life. Like they're just very happy just being part of the furniture for 24/7 until they're like 90. No, like get some ambition. I am a proud indigenous woman of whiteness. And see, like that's the thing. I always say I'm Italian. Granted, I'm American. I am like third generation or fourth generation American, I forget. But I'm also of Italian descent. I'm of Italian heritage. My Italian traditions are important to me. And I continue them. Have a lot been lost over time? Oh, yeah, good God. But I still call myself Italian because that's where my belief system came from. That's where my values came from. That's where my idea of traditional comes from. So yeah, that's what I identify with. And I don't say that's all I am, but it's a big aspect of who I am and who I have grown to be. And I'll always revert back to the lessons I learned in that. And some of them were right, some of them were wrong. But I still cherish every single one of them because they're special to me and my family. They're important. Do they need to be important to you? No. Do you need to have at least, base respect for them? The fact that I have those, traditions and beliefs? Yeah, I'd like that. The same way I would like to respect yours. But it's a mutual thing. It's human decency. It's civility. It's all gone now. And that's what I want them to bring back. I do. Like, be proud of who you are. But like when they say, "Oh, you're a white girl," I'm like, "No, I'm not." Yeah, you're no. See what you define as a white girl and what I define as a white girl are two very motherfucking different things. Like they're very different things. I grew up around white girls. No, there's a difference. We are not the same. Scratch off fever. Hey, how you doing, honey? How you doing? What's up, blue eyes? Saying hi to everybody. That means good. I can skip ahead a little. Hold their twitly whatever. I mean, I don't try to guess what these politicians get up to with each other, and I don't want to, because frankly, I've seen some degenerate prawn in my life, and I have a feeling they would make me go, "Oh, that's too much." Like that's just way too much. Another one I'm gonna use. There you go. T3 comes out with some beauties. Why would I say? Anyway, I'm glad it made you laugh. That's what I'm here for. Great. Now he's fapping. I mean, maybe. Don't do that on my stream. don't do that in my chat. No fapping in chat, damn it. Damn, she's way fucking behind. I know. I'm 20 minutes behind. Thank you for supporting the channel. She's like 40 minutes behind. No, I'm 20 minutes behind. Aw, T-Rex. Oh, T-Rex said, "Oh my God," with the $50 super chat. He said, "Oh my God, my dad's coming home from the hospital in a few hours. I'm so happy. I'm in such a good mood. Heck yeah. Oh, I'm so happy for you, honey." Guys, if you can, please continue. If you've been praying, please continue. And if you haven't, what the fuck is wrong with you? Say a prayer. Oh, I'm so happy for you, T-Rex. Thank you so much for the super chat. But I'm glad your dad is coming home, and I really hope that he don't drive you crazy. Just remember, he's going to be a little cranky, and he might be a little snippy. But you love your dad, and you just want him around forever and ever and ever. And sometimes you got to take the snippy with the good stuff. So it's a mix. But I'm glad he's coming home. That's good. And I know that the outcome was what you guys wanted, and he's moving around. So I don't know what's next, though. You haven't told me what's next. So what am I gonna play for you? I want something cute, but what do I got? I mean, I already made you dance. All right, let's try this one.
For me, baby. That look in your eye when you dance for me, baby. I can't deny when you dance for me, baby. Dance for me, baby. Dance for me, baby. Dance, dance for me, baby. Dance, dance, dance for me, baby. Dance, dance, dance for me, baby. Dance, dance, dance for me, baby. Dance.
All right. I hate to say it, but do I have it? Do I have it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? T-Rex, for your $50 super chat, I'm going to play something that I normally don't play. I don't have a visual for it, but here you go.
Wouldn't the world be great if everybody has a juice box? I think what the world needs now is for everyone to have a juice box. Whoa, whoa! Juice box will save the world. Whoa! Juice box will save the. Juice box will save the world. Juice box will save the world. Whoa, whoa! It would fix everything if I could only have a juice box.
And there you go, honey. For anybody who doesn't know, T-Rex really likes that song. And that is a Winning Reality original. It's put on by, I think, I can't remember the name of the other thingy. But yeah, so there you go. But thank you for the $50 super chat. I'm very uncomfortable right now, but very appreciative. So okay. Whew, you made me sweat. Damn it. All right. So I'm glad he's coming home. You should decorate. Like put up a banner or something like welcome home, Dad. This way he has something to bitch about that's not you. Heidi said that's great news. We'll continue to pray. Lady Awesome said, thank you for the super chat. Shelly appreciates you. Shani said, good news. Happy for you. Wolfkinder. Hi, honey. Hey, Shelly. Just a flyby hello. Everybody take a few minutes today and disconnect. Just breathe. Just breathe. Last said, it's good advice. Last said, Adam Sandler is the originator of that look. Fetterman is the copy. Yeah, Sandler always had dressed like that because he had his red hooded sweatshirt. My red hooded sweatshirt. Doop, doop, doop. I used to love that song. I don't know why. I just always liked that song. It's actually on my iPod. I still actually have an iPod. What comes out once in a year, twice in a month, 4 times in a week, and 6 times in a day? Weed? I don't know. What? I have no idea. I can't think. Les said there's been like 9 different Democrats that have posted videos, and word for word, it's the same. Oh, there's a lot more than that. There's one thing that has, I think, 22 of them, all saying the exact same thing, same cadence, same pauses, everything. It's ridiculous. Whoever told them that them acting out last night and not clapping for like the kids and everything was a good idea, they deserve to be fired. They deserve to be beaten, but they deserve to be fired. Les said, answer is the letter E. Oh, is it real? Okay, so wait. What comes once in a year? All right, twice in a month, 4 times in a week, and 6 times in a day. The letter E. I don't get it. You're gonna make me figure that shit out later. It's gonna aggravate me, Heidi. That's all right. I'll figure it out later. All right. So last said I'm gonna be in and out of chat because my hubby is homesick. Aw. And you'll already know when somebody's sick, it's like having another kid. Yeah, especially when it's your husband. Sir Frank Otter. Hello, honey. Hello, how are you? Look, I'm only 20 minutes behind. Woohoo. All big cement cities, Shenny said, the prisons of today's times. They're Democrat run because people want to be victims and get free stuff. And they want to be taken care of. Rurals have to work to take care of themselves. Yeah, because there's nothing right around the corner in a rural area. Like, you got to be able to get places or provide for yourself. Elephant, Crockett is Dallas and Werewolf is Houston. Somebody put up a picture of the caveman from the Geico commercials next to his picture. Oh my God, I was dead. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, thank God I didn't put something like that up, and I couldn't repost it. I didn't even have the balls to like it because I was like, see, now that's going to start some shit. Like, now, let me just leave that shit alone. Oh my God, my son is driving me crazy. I am live. Figure it out. That's all. Like, leave me alone. He's like, oh, I want to order McDonald's, which none of us are going to eat. And he's like, but I want to use, DoorDash. But do I use your DoorDash? Do I set up a new account? Blah, 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 blah. Like, just shut up. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Figure it out. I'm so tired. Because when he wants to do something on his own, I'm 18. I should be able to. But when he doesn't want to, I know I'm 18, but you're still my mom. Like, no. You can't have it both ways. No. Either I'm going to do it for you or you're going to learn to do it yourself. Well, guess what? Now I made the decision. You're going to fucking learn to do it yourself. Leave me alone. He's perfectly capable. I know he can do it. But he's so used to me holding his hand and doing it for him that it's like, oh, mom will do it. No. Mom is not doing that anymore. You got to learn to do it yourself. Mom's busy. Elifant said Dallas County has always been corrupt. Has it really? They're run by morons. Texas is red except for the major cities. Yeah, I hate to say it, but Jersey is very much the same way. There are so many red counties throughout New Jersey, but it's the really highly condensed ones with the more people per square foot than Jesus knew what to do with. Like, those are the Democrat and the liberal areas, and they fuck everything up for everybody else. We've had quite a few Republican governors. It's just they sucked. Like, we had, Chrissy Todd Whitman, and we had Chris Christie. Can't remember if Corzine was Republican or Democrat. I want to say he was Republican, but he might have been a Democrat. He was Corzine. He was a fucking douche canoe. But yeah, we've had nothing but corrupt people, and those are the ones that get everything done. I mean, look at Melendez. He's going to jail for taking gold and shit. It's like, really? I read winning an article the other night about our mayor, Camerano. Young dude, like I think he was in his mid-20s when he got elected mayor. Youngest we ever had. He lasted 4 days or 5 days before the FBI came and arrested him for, being corrupt and, doing the pay to play kind of construction thing in town. Like, oh, you want licenses? Well, you're going to have to grease my palm. Let's go. Like, I'm just used to that. I grew up surrounded by, like, the bent noses and corruption. I didn't know that there was an existence without it, to be perfectly honest. We just learned how to go around it or use it to our benefit. Like, oh, well, this one needs a job. Well, you know what this one did? Does anybody else know what that one did? No. Well, then that'll get you the job. Go tell him you know what he did. You're either going to wind up dead or with a really good job. Like, those are the two options you had. Or you could go out there and try to get it without a little bit of nepotism or whatever, but that ain't going to happen in some place like Hoboken. It's too tight knit, and we don't like outsiders. And they're the same way in DC. They don't like anybody who's outside their script. Like, if you're not with the group mind think, then what the fuck am I going to do with you? Like, no, you toe the party line. It doesn't matter how many times we change the goalpost. You're going to do exactly what I tell you. Sir Frank Otter. Unfortunately, the blue will never leave the cities because they were designed to make them dependent on the government and brainwash them at the same time. Yes, that's absolutely true. You said that's your opinion. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. There's something oppressive about living in a city area if you make below a certain amount, because you get to see all this life going on around you and all this opulence and people spoiling themselves, driving great cars, and you're just not there. You get to watch it. It gets to bother you, but you don't get to achieve that like out the gate. Most likely you're not going to, because the people who could hire you for that don't see you on their level. So they're not going to let you rise up. They're going to keep you down. I mean, I grew up knowing that, which is why when I went into an interview or whatever, I went in and was like, you'll be lucky to have me. And they know it because they're like, oh shit. Like, they expect to be like, well, I want you to, no. Like, this is what I can do. And I learn on the fly. I'm a quick learner. You never have to show me anything more than once. And I'm not a stranger to hard work. I love hard work, but you're going to pay me what I'm worth, or I'm going to go to your competitor and work for them. That's how I got most of my jobs. Be like, oh yeah, no, I was talking to, and I just dropped, whatever company was their like competitor. Be like, you're talking to them. Why? Well, because they have really good opportunities, and it looks like there's a good way for me to move up the ladder. There. Oh no, we have opportunities here. And then they want you. They're not thinking about hiring you. They're thinking about how the fuck they're going to get you to say yes to the job, because they're like, no. Like, oh no, I like her. Like, I don't want the other side to have her. That's the way to go about life. You go into life telling people this is what I can do, and I'm damn proud of it. And I'm worth this much. But a lot of people don't do that. It's hard to do that. We are made to be afraid and to go into things nervous that we're not good enough. We already go in going, oh, I hope they think I'm good enough. Instead of going in and going, oh, I'm way good enough. I hope that they're good enough to hire me. That's what this new generation, like, that's what they're about. They're like, no. I'm not staying in a company for 20 years out of loyalty if they're not paying me. Like, my time is precious. I want to spend time with my family. I want to spend time doing the stuff I want. I need the means to do the things I want to do. I'm going to give you the effort, but you're going to pay me equally for what I give you. And then you have the ones with the big mouths who want to give you nothing and want everything else. We're not talking about them, though. We're talking about the actual workers in the world. These kids, some of them do have it right. They're like, no, don't stay at a company for more than like 2 or 3 years unless there's room for you to grow, or the pay is going to go up, or they're like super appreciative of you and you can see your future growing there. Don't stagnate anywhere. If they don't appreciate you, somebody else will. That was not the mindset we grew up with. It was put your nose to the grindstone and you're going to do whatever the fuck you need to do, and you're going to be loyal, and I don't care how they treat you. Because that's, you're that kind of guy. Like, I'm sorry, I squirreled. Ellie said, I've seen Crockett and Werewolves District. They're trash. They need to clean their shit up. I mean, that's pretty much the whole nation. Any place you have a really thick urban area, it's just dirty. That's one of the things that I meant with oppression. It's depressing. I used to find beauty all over Hoboken, but I also used to find all the ick too. Like the homeless and the smelly urine after friggin' Friday and Saturday nights, and the smell of vomit in the streets, because in case you didn't know, Hoboken has the most bars per capita in the nation. And it's just like, it's ridiculous. Like, there were so many disgusting things because of so many people. And it was just like, you'd walk outside and be like, oh, good. Like, I want to go to a park. There's dog shit all over the place. Like, it's not well maintained. Like, at first glance, it's so pretty and inviting. And then you get to know it and you're like, oh, this is so gross. And then you just don't want to touch anything. You just want to go home to there, leave me alone. People are nasty. Nobody pays attention to friggin' street signs or stoplights or whatever. So yeah. Shelly's trying not to offend the Southerners in chat. With what? The war? No, because in the Civil War, like, the South thought they could win based on the fact that they were, I can't think of the word, chivalrous, I guess you could say. They thought chivalry would save them. They thought their ideals would make them, just miraculously win a war. Not skill, not, guns, not having food and boots and shit like that in the snow. But they just thought, well, we're on the side of right, so we're going to win. Like, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Heidi's sending me the answer to the riddle. You're so funny. I love you guys. I'm trying not to offend anybody, but at the same time, I really don't give a shit, because if you get offended, I can't help you. Did you die? You got offended. What did it do to you? Nothing. People offend me all the time. Guess what? I'm still here. It just makes me a little mouthier. That's it. Heidi said, same here with Marcy Kaptur, Ohio. Oh, she's currently the longest serving woman in the history of Congress and on subcommittees on agriculture. She needs to go. She's been in Congress for so long that she had a horse and buggy. How much you want to bet? Maybe she bought one of those Model Ts right off the assembly line. Maybe she's the one that's collecting all that Social Security. We don't know. You never know with anybody. Will Raleigh. Oh my goodness. I'm 15 minutes behind. I hope you're still here. Oh my God, Will Raleigh. Did you see it on Saturday? Did you see Elimination Chamber? That was the bomb. I had such a good time. Such a good time. Poor Winning. I blew out his eardrums. I was like, you could mute me. He was like, for what? I was screaming the entire 4 hours. Just, oh my God. I'm like, kick her ass. Oh my God. That was so good. When Bianca like whipped that freaking hair across Liv's stomach and you heard that smack. Oh, I was like, oh, do it again, do it again, do it again. Oh, I was so happy. The Seth stomp. Come on. Seth stomping on CM. Oh, that was amazing. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I was so happy. And then to see like his face, he was just like, he looks like an evil Muppet. By the way, guys, I had a dream that Seth Rollins was a Muppet and he was just traipsing around like the ring and all of everything and just going, mana, do, 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 mana. He had the glasses and everything. And if you look at Seth Rollins when his hair is down and he's like just after like a fight where he didn't win and now he's all aggravated and snarly, he looks just like a Muppet. He does. He looks just like a Muppet. Somebody needs to make a Seth Rollins Muppet because I would buy that. I would. I don't want my boy Randy Orton to be a Muppet. I mean, I'd like him to be like one of those plastic men. Remember Plastic Men? You could buy him, you could stretch him and everything else. Apparently there was like a whole bunch of asbestos inside that doll. I don't know. I had the doll for years. But whatever. But yeah, no, you remember him? You could like stretch and you could throw him and like hold on to his arm and he'd like go a little bit and then swing back and hit you in the face. It was great. I would like that for Randy Orton. That would be great. Just make him with a big, like, so you could just wrestle with him. I'll wrestle him any day of the week. But Seth Rollins, yeah, no, I need a Muppet. I do need a Muppet. I need to either make one or find a Muppet that looks like him and alter it. Don't think I won't. But it was amazing. I was so happy. And I was just as happy with Raw on Monday. And now I can't wait for SmackDown on Friday. The fact that winning has turned me into a wrestling like fanatic is disgusting. Like it's so bad. And then new people show up and I'm like, oh, who's that? Wait, what? Who is that? And I make him give him like the whole backstory. And sometimes I know he knows who it is, but he don't want to talk because we're watching. He's just like, I don't know. I don't like you, fucking liar. It's like, I know you know who it is. Hi, Heidi. Is that some 41 that song? I don't know. Juicebox will save the world. There you go. See, I played it. Agreed they deserve all that and more for directing people to do that. Yep. Love McDonald's. McFlurries are so nice. McFlurries are good. I will say that. I love an Oreo McFlurry. And those are two things that I just can't eat anymore. There are here in the UK. Anyway, not sure about McDonald's in the US. Oh no, they're very good here. McFlurries are fucking delicious. They're phenomenal, but they're not good for you. I mean, they fuck my stomach up so bad. For when you get to the topic, you sure picked topics that hit my current situation. Had to make a couple contacts and calls that weren't easy for me. Don't want to put too much on those around me, showing them that I'm trying. And that's all you can really do. That is, we're going to get to the topic. Don't worry. Back, I was on the phone. I just wanted to catch up because I had a lot to say about last night. I should have probably done today's stream just about last night, but I also don't want to really get worked up over it because I know I will. Slavery now is the chosen behavior. Jenny says it's cool to have kids who were born wrong because they made it happening. Same slavery. No free thought, just doing as told. I mean, that's how we always did. Stretch Armstrong. I think that was the name of it. Yeah. And my idea of a T3 Muppet was shunned. I don't want to be a Muppet. I don't want to be a Muppet. Who's my son is? He's making me crazy. Set up your own account then. There you go. Log out as me and open up your own DoorDash. What the fuck? I'll look at that. I'm all caught up. Okay. So we talked about last night. Talked about how aggravated I am about the whole Democrat response or lack of response. Just the fact that they could sit there and look at their phones and just, it was gross. It was really gross. Just remember to talk about it after you're done because, like, I'd rather not do that alone. All right, Connor. Okay. All right, leave me alone. So here we go. All right. So as far as generosity and appreciation, it's good to offer support and healing when you're able, but don't just give it at the expense of your own health. Like some people really don't deserve it, even in the eyes of God. And I watched this video that really like broke it down for me. And God wants us to do for one another, take care of your fellow neighbor, take care of your loved ones, whatever, but not at the expense that you get in the way of his plans or that you stifle somebody else's growth, because there are hardships for a reason. So like one of the things that God does not look favorably on is idleness, right? So codependency and enablement, they hinder independence. So when you're always doing something for somebody, like we just talked about, like I said, I've done too much for my son. I coddled him because I was kind of thrown in the deep end when I was just old enough to walk. So like I didn't want him to struggle the way I struggled. However, I took it too far and I didn't give him like any struggle. So when he has little setbacks, he thinks the world is ending because he doesn't have that resiliency, because he doesn't know what real struggle is. He doesn't know what real trauma is. Like, he doesn't understand how bad things can get, how quickly they can get that bad, because I've always been there to shield him from it. to, mommy will, kiss the boo-boo, make it better. Mommy will fix the problem. Mommy will run and do this. So I've always run blocker for him. I've taken care of all the obstacles. I obliterated them as much as I could, to the point where he didn't even know that there were problems, because I wanted to protect him from that. And I went way too far. Because again, I grew up with no boundaries, just being taken advantage of all the fucking time. So I wanted to provide everything for my kids. And I tried to do that. And I based my value, my grade as a mother, like if I was good or bad or whatever, I based that on how much I could do for them, when that was not really the way to look at it. Unfortunately, I figured that out way too late. But again, like, the mindset was just, okay, nobody ever took care of you. You don't want your kids to feel like that. I never wanted my kids to feel alone or abandoned. I have abandonment issues, bad, so bad. And yet I'm the one that walks away from people. Because if I get even a sniff of a clue that you're detaching a little bit, I'm done. Nope. I'm not sitting around and waiting for you to get bored or move on or whatever. I'm going to, okay, I'll do. Bye. I'm gone. That's just the way I am. And that's it. I never wanted them to have that insecurity. And so by making them feel secure, I made them feel too secure. I made them feel like they don't have to do anything because mommy's going to fix it. There's no repercussions because mom's here. And then I got sick and I was like, dude, what are you two going to do when I'm gone? Because that was a very definite possibility when I first got sick. I mean, I brushed death back and forth. We danced quite a bit. But I was like, what are you guys going to do? Like, there's nobody to take care of you. And I've taken care of you your whole lives. Like, you're not grown-ups. You're not even on the road to grown-ups yet. You want to act like grown-ups. You want the benefits that grown-ups get, but you don't have the ability to be grown-up yet. Like, you don't know how. And I don't know how to teach you that now. Because now it just seems mean. But I mean, it is what it is. I can't see shit because I'm all teary-eyed. Give me a sec. But that's one of the things that, God doesn't like. Like, you're making somebody dependent on you because whatever reason, either you want to protect them or you want to feel needed, or that's just the way you were raised to be. Like, you think that nobody will love you if you don't give them everything you have and do everything they want and never push back. Just if they hurt your feelings, you just swallow it. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But all those, it's fine, I'm fine, it's nothings, they build up. And eventually you just shut your heart off from somebody else and you walk away. That's not helping anybody. That's not the key to a lasting, friendship, relationship, anything. So you don't want to be so useful to other people. You want to let them be themselves. You could be right there to be like, encourage them, advise them, but don't do the thing for them. Keep them busy. If they're just going to lay around and be lazy, well, that's their choice. But if they're going to lay around and be lazy because they got nothing to do because you're doing it all, that's a choice you're making. You're setting them up for that. And that's not good. God don't like that. When people are idle and you allow them to be that, or you perpetuate that state for them, you're actually encouraging them to be stagnant, to never progress, to never improve. And one thing about life is full of suffering and pain, and they exist for a reason. Suffering and pain lead to tests of strength, ingenuity, drive, resilience. Pain can sometimes be the only catalyst that changes somebody who wants help from others, but they don't exactly know how to do it, or they're not brave enough to do it, or they're not driven enough to do it. Sometimes pain and suffering can force them to make that change, force them to learn something they were reluctant to learn, force them to take a risk so that they take a step forward because fear of failure or whatever is holding them back. But if you're the one holding them back, that sin is on you. So you want to avoid doing that. And a lot of times we don't realize that that's what we're doing. The thing is, effort is key to reward. St. Paul to the Thessalonians said, you reap what you sow. And what he meant was, if a man sows nothing, that's what he said. If man sows nothing, he shall receive nothing, which is different from helping people who, wait, I can't even read my own goddamn writing. Different from helping people through hard times. Like if somebody's having a hard time, or, they're temporarily incapacitated, maybe temporarily disabled, whatever, and you're trying to like help them. Maybe their car broke down, or they need, they don't have a babysitter, or they need an errand run, but they have like 9 things going on at home that can't be left alone. Stepping in and helping somebody is a wonderful thing. But if you're going and you're doing everything for this person, then they don't know what the hard work is. They're not putting their effort in. They shouldn't get a reward. Why should they benefit off the backs of everybody else? I mean, isn't that what we're fighting in our government right now? Like they're out there just reaping the rewards for our hard work. They're playing Monopoly and Scrabble and all these different fucking life board games with our money. And they don't give a shit if they lose it or not. They're like, oh, so what? We gave them a couple $2 billion. Oh, they're not going to pay it back? Write it off. Yeah, write it off because it's our money. And we're your never-ending supply. Well, we keep having Americans, and we keep paying, they keep paying taxes. Just up the taxes. That's what they do. It's no different when you do that with somebody and you're like, oh, well, I'm just going to do everything for you. They never have to learn to do it themselves. And they also learn to appreciate you less and less and less. Because now they've expected that behavior from you. They expect that reward from you for no work. You may think that, helping somebody is always a good thing. Rescuing a lazy person isn't a blessing. It's not. It's a disservice to their growth. And it's a disservice to God, because God set up struggles for them to learn. They set up opportunities for life lessons, for them to build their capabilities, for them to, hone their skills. And what you're doing is you're taking away from that. He's setting up struggles to motivate them. Sometimes people only do things when they're desperate. They will only go and take that test when the desperation level is high enough that it counters their anxiety or laziness. So you need that push. You need that counterpoint that's constantly pushing until you finally say, all right, fine. But if you're doing it for them, they're never going to get to that point. They're never going to test themselves, and they're never going to learn what their true capabilities are. So you're taking their potential and you're just basically stomping on it and saying, you don't need to do any of this because I'm just going to do it all for you. And then you call it love. Because I love you. I did it because I love you. I did it because I'm a good person. I did it because you deserve it. Do they deserve you to wipe away their struggles? No. Help a little bit? Sure. Hold their hand? Sure. But do it for them? No. Because then you're just denying them the opportunity to know who they could be. Laziness in life is an insult to the abilities and talents that God has given you. Matthew 25. There was a servant who ignored their talents when their master was away. And the master came back and, basically scolded them and said, no reward for you, and took everything that they had. The master called the lazy servant wicked. He said, you're wicked and lazy. You have these little things. Well, now you don't even have that. So he took that away. Now, this was meant to tell that if you don't utilize the tools that you're given by God, eventually you'll lose them. That's what they say. Use it or lose it. That's where that comes from. Use it or lose it. Because we all have things we could do. It's just sometimes we go, yeah, no, I don't want to do it. Like if I do it, I might not do it well. And then it's just better not to do it at all. Who convinced you of that? Who convinced you that? It's always better to try. I grew up, believe me, thinking if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. I refuse to let anything defeat me. Whether it's a person, a job, a skill, it doesn't matter. I refuse to let something think that it can outsmart me or outdo me or outweight me. Like I will keep going. It may be years in between attempts, but I will keep trying. I'm never going to say, oh, I can't do it. Because every time, and there's a Loretta Lynn song that always makes me think of Daddy, and I cry like such a little baby whenever I hear it. It's called I Can't Hear the Music Anymore. And there's a part of that I'm getting like, ooh, where she says, every time I said I can't, you said you can. You were my toughest critic and my biggest fan. And he was. And he never let me ever say I couldn't do something. And he never got mad, but he was adamant about, what'd you say? I said, I can't do it. Who said you can't do it? I said, bullshit. Like, he would not accept that. He was like, you can try. Maybe you can't do all of it, but you could do some of it. What you can't do, maybe I can help. But you're going to figure out what you could do and what, you need help with. He never said you can't do something. Never. And I grew up taking a lot of risks. But I grew up as an adult. When somebody would say you can't, I go, what? Oh, fucking watch me. Because I refuse to let somebody else set my limits. I set my limits, and I don't even like doing that. Like there are some things I physically sometimes can't do because it's just not something I could do. But I would know somebody who could help me do it. Maybe two people could do it. Maybe you could do it, and then I could do something else for you in exchange that something you can't do, I could do. And something I can't do, you could do. But together we could get the job done. Like that's how I choose to look at things. I will never let somebody tell me that I absolutely 100% can't do something just because that's their opinion. Like reasonably speaking, if it's an impossible thing to do, I'm going to accept that. But there's not a lot of that in the world that I'm trying to do. I mean, yeah, there's concepts out there obviously I could think of, but like everyday things, that's not a thing. It's really not. All right, so let me catch up to chat before I get way too far behind. Wait, what? Stretch Armstrong on the daily for me since January. T3 Muppet. Inya, out you all around you. Oh, you heard me talk about Janus before. I've been lurking a bit, was trying to get a few things done. That works. Will said, Bianca whip on Liv. It's real. She had the scar across her stomach and on her back because the end of that ponytail whipped around the back and she had a big bleeding welt on her back, like right over her kidney. I was like, oh, she got her coming and going. It's like, See, that's how I crushed Spanky's nut. That's how the keychain went. It hit the front of the nut and then went around and on the back, and now he has just pebbles, not nuts. He's got crumbs. Nut crumbs. Anyway, it's still going to be one of my funniest memories. I hate to say it. But yeah, that was amazing. Heidi said, it's whatever. Yep, used to have that one before several times in the past. And it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Sometimes it is what it is, sometimes it is what it isn't. For other situations, yeah, there's nothing I could do about a circumstance. Yep. Did we get to the topic yet? Bafangul asar de mama da kita mort. We're here on topic, T-Rex, but apparently I'm space casing it in chat. Okay. That's all right. You catch up. You're fine. It's not beyond the realm of, normal for everybody to be like, she's on topic. What the fuck is that? All right. By enabling those who refuse to help themselves, we halt that person's trust in God and in themselves. It is not heartless or against God to allow people to carry their own burdens. When they're able to, but unwilling, it's not your place. And you are not meant to carry the burdens that God has not asked you to carry. God has given this person their own burdens, and he expects them to man up and do it. There's a line between being merciful and being an enabler. This applies to people who escape responsibility and work by making excuses, yet find time and energy to do things that they really enjoy doing instead, like, entertainment, social distractions, whatever. That's like the person who bitches and moans that they have no money, and then they go and they blow their money on something else, but expect somebody else to like pick up the slack for them. And I've known like so many of my female friends were like that. Dear God, it used to drive me crazy. They'd cry poverty and be like, I can't do that. And I'd like pay a bill or whatever. And then I'm like, a week later, I'm like, oh, where were you yesterday? Oh, I had to go get this thing done. What thing? Oh, I got a new tat. You got a new tattoo? I just paid $150 for your fucking cell phone bill. How much was the tattoo? Oh, it wasn't a lot. I got it on sale. You got a tattoo on sale. Pull the other one. How much was it? It was only like $300. So I paid for your cell phone and you paid double that for a fucking tattoo that you didn't need. But I wanted it. And they feel that's a valid excuse. Those are the people that you go, okay, I helped you. I'm done. Like, I don't care if you're starving. Like, lick your tattoo, bitch. Like, you need to make a phone call, boop, 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 on your arm, like, because I'm not paying your fucking bills. Like, fuck you. Because that's somebody that's just taking advantage of you. That's somebody who wants what they want, and they're not willing to do anything for you, and they're not willing to do anything for themselves unless it, touches their pleasure principle. Like, that's what they're about. And if you think about it, I guarantee you know a lot of people like that. There are also those who cry poverty, ask for financial help, and then squander what you give them, like I said, on frivolous things, rather than building up a nest egg or taking care of their responsibilities. They dabble in nothing but self-indulgence. Providing for people who never provide for you or for themselves in any way is against the will of God. If you struggle with how to see the difference, pray for discernment. God gives grace to those who ask for help, and he gives blessings to those who help themselves. Now, that leads me right into the ungrateful people. Some people take everything you give them, be it time, money, love, understanding, whatever, forgiveness, and give back absolutely nothing, and then have the nerve to ask you for more. Beyond that, they'll act as this is something that's owed to them. They're entitled to this. Ungratefulness is the sign of a corrupted heart and soul. In Luke 17, Jesus healed 10 lepers, and only one returned to thank him And even he said, well, where are the other 9? Were they not healed? Like he was concerned. He was like, wait, all 10 of you got healed, right? But only 1 of you showed up? Like that offended him, and it should. Like if that were to happen to you, you should be offended. It's not wicked to anticipate or want appreciation. For people that tell you like, oh, well, you did this for me. Oh, what do you want me to thank you for it? Bitch, yes. That's the least you could do. I didn't do it so that you could thank me. I did it for you. But because I showed you that level of care, the least you could do is appreciate it. I mean, it didn't just come out of nowhere. It took effort or it took money. Either way, I am giving something of myself for you, for your betterment, to make life easier for you. If you saying thank you is too much, then don't fucking ask me for nothing else. Like I said, with the whole, tattoo thing. Like I did that and then you went and did this, which you don't see as wrong. You think it's okay to ask me for more money to pay your next bill. Bitch, you better dial that tattoo. Like I said, you're hungry, lick it. Like, go ahead, lick your tattoo, because that's where your money went. Is it going to, keep you nice and full? Because I doubt it. But that's what you chose. Now you have to live with your choices. It is... Oh, it's wicked to not show appreciation whenever gifted something by someone, be it a friend, stranger, or God himself. Entitlement reflects a heart that has turned from God and from God's light, as that heart has turned selfish and prideful, believing that their mere existence is enough to find them deserving above all others. When you think, oh, give it to me because I deserve it the most, why? I'm sorry, do you know the inner workings of every other person? Why do you deserve it the most? I mean, it's nice to be confident, but then to be arrogant and cocky, that's too much. This I found interesting. In the book of Timothy, I think it was Timothy, I didn't write down the chapter, I think it was chapter 3. The Bible warns that in the last days, people will only be for themselves. They will worship material things and money above all else. And this ungrateful generation will breed God's disfavor for not acknowledging and appreciating the blessings bestowed upon them by their fellow man and by God himself. And the thing is, God continues to bless those who are thankful for his gifts. And he will stop favoring those who are not grateful, who show no gratitude, or who actually show like selfishness for what they have. People who are greedy don't get the blessings. You may think they do. I know people who say money goes to money, stuff like that. Eventually, everything becomes due. Everybody's got to face their judgment at the end. So which part do you want to be on? Do you want to be grateful for what you were given? And then in that gratefulness, you're given more blessings? Because one thing that God does is once he blesses you, if you appreciate those blessings and you're thankful, he's not like, okay, I'm done. I gave you that. No, he gives you more. It's blessing upon blessing upon blessing. But if you have an ungrateful heart, he's not going to give that to you. He's going to give you struggles because you don't know how to appreciate good things. So he's got to put you through trials so that you learn appreciation. Learning appreciation is painful for some people. It's not their natural default. That it makes them feel awkward, or they just don't recognize that they should be feeling it. And it shows a lack of regard for everybody but them. And God knows that giving to an ungrateful person is completely useless and it's wasteful. It drains the giver, and it's never going to be enough for the person who's getting it. It's like pouring, water into a bottomless pit. Like you could pour forever. You could pour every ounce of water in existence. It's a bottomless pit. It's never going to be full. A person who doesn't appreciate the things that other people do for them who feels entitled to everything in the world, they can never be satiated. They're never going to be satisfied. Those are the people that no matter what you do, it's never going to be good enough for them. Those people, you don't need those people in your life because all they're going to do is drain you. And then you have nothing left for anybody else or yourself. And that's not why God put you on this earth. God did not put you on the earth to be a doormat for other people. To be kind, yes. Giving, yeah. Caring, of course. But to be somebody's punching bag and doormat for them to take advantage of, not appreciate, and basically just abuse in that way, no, that was not your purpose in life. It may feel like a pattern in your life, but that's not why God made you. That's not why you're here. That is definitely not your purpose. It's just a cycle that you might be stuck in, or that someone else convinced you was what you deserved because it helped them get what they wanted. What you call it? Some people are also ungrateful and abusive, as they will. Oh yeah, after they hurt you, they feel no guilt or remorse whatsoever, and they feel like you're making a big deal out of it for no reason. Like, yeah, I hurt you, but can't you just let it go? Like, it's not that big a deal. Well, it's not that big a deal because it's not their feelings getting hurt. It's not them getting taken advantage of. They're in the wrong, so they want it to go away as quickly as possible. Anybody who minimizes what they've done to you when you know you've been hurt, that's somebody who's not looking out for your well-being. And you need to take a step back. And you need to open your mouth. I mean, that's a choice. You could either just walk away, or you could give them another chance quietly, or you can have it out. God, like I said, God didn't create you to be a doormat. You're not a tool at the disposal of anybody else. You are God's vessel on earth. He's the only one. He owns your spark. He owns your soul because it's a part of him. You come from him, from his light. Nobody else gets to step in and just say, well, I'm just going to use you up. It's not what he put you here for. You have your own fire. You have your own light. And you have things that you deserve. Don't give your best to somebody who's not going to value it. Don't waste good things on people who don't appreciate it and who are never going to see you for who you are. They're only going to see you for what you can do for them. Matthew, what I didn't write down. God, I keep forgetting to write down the chapter number. Was it 6 or so? I think it was Matthew 7 that said, don't cast your pearls before swine. Like, a pig is not going to appreciate anything like that. A bad person or a greedy person or a selfish person, they're not going to appreciate anything you do. So why do it? If you turn around and say, well, because I'm a good person, no, you're being a gullible person is what you're being. You could go be a good person with somebody who actually needs you, not somebody who's just too lazy to do it themselves or too selfish to do it themselves. There are people who are worthy of help because they genuinely need it. And then there are people who just expect it because they're too lazy to do anything on their own, or too scared to do anything on their own, because a lot of people use fear as an excuse. It's their crutch. It gets them out of doing things. There's also, in Proverbs, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before the fall. So being proud of accomplishments is not the same as being prideful. That's another thing. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you're so, you're full of hubris, whatever. Like, if you're just proud of your accomplishments, be proud. You're allowed to be proud of yourself. God wants you to be proud of yourself so you continue being a good person. You continue achieving. You keep going down the path that he wants you to go down. Being prideful is different. Being boastful and haughty about it and holding it over somebody's head, maybe even teasing people because they can't do it and you can't. Like, that's going a little too far. That's on the side of, not evil, but it's just not on the righteous side. It's not something that God would want you to do. It's not demonic, but it's devilish. Let's put it that way. But it's a slippery slope. And again, there's a fine line that you can walk. But I think when somebody like holds something over your head and they're like, well, you couldn't do it. See, I did it. Like that, you just look at them and you're like, why do you need to do that? What is that feeding in you? What void are you filling by stepping on me that makes you feel like a big man or a big woman? Great. Good for you. You're making me feel like shit. Now, I didn't deserve it, and I'm not going to take it. And you got to step back from people like that. The one-uppers. The people who just can't let you have an achievement without saying they either did it too or did it better. Like, it's one thing to relate with people because you make connections with people by saying, oh, yeah, I've done that. Oh, yeah, that's cool. I've done that. That's one thing, but to go and say, oh, yeah, I did that. But you know what? I did it under this duress and I had this struggle and I came out on top and everything's hunky-dory. Like, you make people feel bad about their achievement. Why? Because they didn't do it the way you did it. Because you felt the need to, be better at everything. I know so many people that do that in my real life, and it drives me insane. Because no matter what I achieve, it doesn't matter. I haven't been able to draw it in 3 years from the tremors and the hand cramping and everything. I drew a picture the other day. I showed my mother. Now, there were many ways. Well, first of all, I should not have showed my mother, but there were many ways she could have answered, when she looked at it. And she knew I was nervous about showing it to her. And it was a good drawing, especially for the fact that I haven't picked up a pencil in fucking 3 years. And I'm not good with portraits. I'm just not. I'm good with cartoons and stuff like that. Landscapes, whatever. But faces tend to be a really hard thing for me to do. And she looked at it, and instead of saying, oh, that's good, or oh, that's nice, she said, mwah. I mean, it's not bad. And my heart just dropped because I was like, really? Bitch, you're my mother. Like, you couldn't come up with something better than, it's not bad. First of all, your tone tells me you think differently. I'm sorry that I can't paint by fucking numbers like you do, but you had to make me feel bad. Couldn't just give me that. I worked so hard. And I'm so limited in what I could do compared to what I used to do that I feel so defeated in life sometimes. But I won't be defeated. I keep trying. And all I was looking for was just to, well, what do you think? Like, because I can't be clinical about it. I can't step back and say, I could change this or whatever, because it means too much to me. So tell me, like, give your opinion. She did not have to say that. I felt like such a piece of shit. I was like, I almost tore it up. And my son was like, are you crazy? He was like, don't listen to her. He was like, I think it's great. He was like, especially you don't like doing faces because your brain don't work that way. My brain is all negative space when I draw. It's hard to draw faces with negative space. Because things have to look realistic and whatever. And it's just, she beat me down with just, 3 words? It's not bad. Like, that tone tells me you think it is. So thanks a fucking lot. Like, my confidence was teetering on the, knife's edge, and you just pushed me right off. Boom, gone. Thanks. I won't draw again for a long time. I won't. I look at the pencil and I just want to cry. And she did that to me because she has to constantly just be the best at everything. I can't possibly have an achievement because if I'm good at anything, if I achieve anything, then maybe I won't, need her. I don't know if she thinks I'm going to draw a nice picture and go, I'm moving out tomorrow. Like, no. But my son thought I was nuts. He was like, don't listen to her. He was like, please. He was like, what? He goes, what? Because she could paint fucking flowers? Stop it. I was just like, he was like, come on, Ma. He was like, I know you're smarter than that. He was like, it's just she pushes your buttons. I'm like, I know. But there are people out there who are just like that. Being proud of your accomplishments, like I said, it's not being prideful. It's okay to feel positive things about what you do, to keep your motivation going, to have pride in yourself, and to still stay humble. It's easy enough to be proud of yourself and yet be humble and modest. It's not that hard to do. You build confidence and self-esteem. And I mean, if you go the other way and you're always one up or you're always like trying to do for somebody else, I'm having a hard time putting my words together for this one. I don't know. God created you as a vessel that is capable of so many things, and he wants you to discover them. He doesn't want somebody to take that away from you. So if you're putting yourself in somebody's life who's always taking away your motivation, taking away your belief in yourself, that person is going against God. That person is going against who you were meant to be. To me, that's very sinful. It might not be one of the commandments, but you can be sinful without having a sin that's labeled. Like there are ways to be wicked that don't look good. That's one of them. Like being around people who constantly one up you, it can really tear you down. And these are usually the same people who want everything from you. It's okay to step back from people who treat you like that. There's people who are, deaf, dumb, and blind to anybody but themselves in regards to anything going on, like in regards to wisdom, actions, intent. None of it, matters to them. The only thing that matters is how they're feeling at that moment, what they want, getting their needs met. People often wonder why does this keep happening to me? That's another thing. Why does this keep happening to me? Why does this keep happening? Why does this happen every time? This always happens. Well, simply put, like you're not learning the lesson. If you're going through something and it keeps happening over and over and over, if you keep doing the same thing, they say that's the definition of insanity. It's also the definition of futility because you're not learning the lesson. You just keep repeating the same damn mistakes, even if you don't see them as mistakes. There's a reason they say, learn the lesson the first time or learn it the hard way. I tend to learn things the hard way. Prideful people actually go to war with God, I believe. They refuse to humble themselves. And the thing is, when you go to battle with God, that's not a battle you're going to ever win. Even if you feel like you win, like for a moment, God's patient. He ain't going anywhere. He's not. He's in it for the long haul. It does not matter. You could fight God your whole life. You are not going to win because even if you think you won the battle over God, you know where you're going to wind up? Not with God. You're going to wind up in a very horrible place. Desolate and alone and in darkness because you won't have his light because you rejected him because you fought him your whole life. If there's one thing God is good at, besides having a sense of humor, it's teaching people humility. Even if he has to teach you that same lesson again and again and again. Think of all the people you know who rose up and they were not thankful for what they had. They took it for granted, right? They thought they were untouchable. They thought they knew better. They forgot to be humble. They forgot to be appreciative and thankful of what they had. They forgot how precarious their position in life was. Because if God chooses to, he will take all your shit in a heartbeat. We've all seen it happen in real time. When people don't appreciate what they have and they go nutty, they lose what they had. Because God's like, well, I gave you all these opportunities. I gave you all this bounty. I gave you all this love. Look at the blessings I gave you. And you turned around and you completely turned your back on the way I told you you should live, to live a good life. So I'm going to take this from you, and I'm going to take this from you, and I'm going to take this from you. And I'm going to keep taking from you until you realize, oh shit, it's all gone. It wasn't just because I deserve it. I'm not entitled to that. I need to be appreciative of what I had. I need to work for what I want. We've seen it. We've seen people go through it. The fall of successful people, some of us revel in it for a little bit, and then you feel bad. And then you're just like, see, you kind of like, you're like, all right, maybe you should have learned a little earlier on. You really should have. Like, maybe you shouldn't have done that. But that's a life lesson for you if you're paying attention, because you could look at that person and go, remind me to never do what they did. And you tell yourself, oh no, I will be thankful. I will act right to keep what I have because I'm grateful to have it, because not everybody will. Not everybody's going to be successful. Not everybody's going to be, blessed with bounty and money and gifts and, like tons of free time and fun and whatever. They're not going to have that. Some people are going to toil away their whole life. And it's not for lack of effort. That's just their lot in life. And those people that toil away, they appreciate every little thing they have. So if you are blessed, recognize that, call it out, and make sure you live in a way that's going to keep that, so that God keeps blessing you. So you keep being worthy of the good things, because you could lose them in the blink of an eye. All right. There's more hope in helping a fool than in one who thinks they have all the answers. For God is welcome in the life of one and usurped in the life of the other. I found that very interesting, because when there's no room for God, he will carve out a space for himself. He will use suffering and failure and loss to make a room for him. He's just like, all right, so you're all filled with this love of money, love of self, love of, fun or debauchery or whatever. Well, there's no room left for me. So I'm just going to have to like hollow you out. That means you're going to lose a whole bunch of shit, because there has to be room for God. He gave it to you. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. I love my sayings. It's not in God's plan to make you suffer. He doesn't want you to suffer, but it is a tool that he will use. He will use every tool at his disposal, and he has them all. He vowed to save you from yourself if he has to, because you are what he has made. That's why you can't win a battle against God. He made you. And he'll never concede. He'll never run out of patience. He'll never run out of time. He'll never run out of scenarios, opportunities, any of that. You are just dangling at the end of that, string going, what the fuck do I do now? You're not going to win that battle. So why do it? Like, You can be confident and humble. You can. And you could do that by trusting in God that He gave you these gifts and He wants you to use them and to prosper and to benefit from them. But He also wants you to turn around and be like, thank you for doing this for me. Thank you for giving me this ability. He doesn't want you to be like, oh, thank you for this penny. Thank you for the. No, be thankful for the source of your blessings. The reason that you're able to have other things. It's not thank you for the car. It's thank you for giving me the ability to, work so that I could do what needs to be done so I can get this car. And thanks for, making it not take forever. Thanks for, keeping me going. It's not hard to be appreciative. It's really not. God doesn't ask for much. We don't ask for much. So if God is happy with that level of appreciation and praise for what He has done, why do you think that you don't deserve at least a fraction of that? Why would you go through life letting people take advantage of you without ever showing you that they're thankful for what you did? Because it's not just you. God gave you the ability to do that. God put you in that place and time to carry that out. Because if you weren't meant to do it, then He would have something to say about that. At the end of the day, and this is one of the things that one of the stories I really liked, you got to give God the credit that He's due. And because that's the lesson, when you do something for somebody, you have every right to feel like you deserve the credit for that. Don't be boastful about it, but a thank you will do. It's okay to expect a thank you. Not an offhanded one. You should really, somebody should be grateful for what you do the same way you should be grateful. The story that I found was in Daniel. It was the story of Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar was the king that built Babylon. And he claimed it as his achievement. He didn't say that he had help or whatever. He didn't praise God for, helping him build Babylon. He claimed it all on his own, that he did it all by himself. He didn't praise God. He didn't thank Him. He didn't give Him any bit of credit. He took it all for himself. He was arrogant, and he was selfish with the glory that he received. So what did God do? God took away his power. He exiled him to live like an animal in the wilderness for 7 years until Nebuchadnezzar actually felt repentance in his heart. He felt remorse. He was sorry. And he went to God and he acknowledged, oh my God, yes, you're the supreme ruler of all. I am just a man. And I should not have taken that, basically as my achievement alone when I could not do that without you. And the glory of my kingdom belongs to you because you have created all of this. God is the King of kings. It didn't matter that Nebuchadnezzar was a king. He was a mortal king. It means nothing. When you're the king of all, you're the king of heaven and earth and everything in between. There are those who won't be led by God. There are those who will not be changed by you. They will literally be led by no one. And they themselves will lead no one. They may influence people, but not in a good way. Sometimes we have to stop helping people who don't appreciate it, who don't show love, who don't show any kind of regard for anybody but themselves. To love somebody, you have to allow them to experience hardship and figure out who they are, what their capabilities are. If you're constantly fixing everything for everybody, you're getting used up and you're also not fixing yourself. You're burying your own problems by focusing on the problems of other people's because you can fix them, you think, a lot easier than you could fix yourself. You know, God's love, it's eternal, it's unconditional. You know, we live a good life, hopefully, to try to like maintain or be worthy of approval on a mortal scale. But at the end of the day, as long as you have goodness in your heart and you appreciate what you're given and you don't try to climb up on the backs of everybody else to succeed, then you have no fear of what comes after. You should have no fear of an eternal life because God's waiting for us. He's just waiting for us to finish living this mortal life. Go ahead, get it all out. Get it all out. Learn your lessons. Do what you're going to do. Be who you're going to be. And at the end of the day, you're either going to come home to me or you're not. But it's our choice. It's his judgment, but ultimately it's our choice. The same way when you're dealing with somebody who takes advantage of you, it's a choice you're making. I'm going to leave it, like wrap it up here, but it's a choice to keep giving to somebody who's just sucking the life out of you. You know, if they're not giving you anything that you need, then that void that you're creating, that emptiness, that's your choice. You chose that. Sometimes you need to walk away from the people who make you feel like that because they're never going to be different. Believe me, I've tried so many times. I've been like, no, they need to get more mature, whatever. No, it's not going to happen. And maybe it won't happen just for you because they know that they can take you to that place where they can get whatever they want. They just have to, maybe they have to wait a little longer. They have to like be a little more charming, a little more manipulative, a little sneakier. Maybe they have to play, you know, good girl or good boy for a little while so you forget. And then they revert right back to form. And you're like, but why don't they treat anybody else like that? Because they couldn't get away with it with somebody else. You let them get away with it. You never put your foot down. You never made boundaries. It's a choice. It's a choice. Either you're scared because you don't want to lose them, or you think that nobody will love you unless you give them everything you have because you're just not enough on your own. God believes we're each enough on our own. He loves us on our own. The only thing he asks is that we're grateful and we praise him and just follow the rules, man. Follow his word. Believe in him. Because he believes in you. That's the relationship you want with people. If you're going to believe in somebody, they need to equally believe in you. If you're going to give to somebody, they need to equally give back to you. It doesn't have to be in the same way. Some people just don't function the same way you do, but they do things in other little ways. You have to learn to be appreciative, to recognize that. It's not always easy to see. But I don't want you all to go blind trying to look for it either. Like it'll be there. It's not going to be some hidden, like mystical thing like nobody else can see or figure out. That's just you trying to justify, staying there. But if they're good to you, you'll know it. You'll feel it. You won't feel that emptiness inside. You won't feel that constant suspense of disappointment. Because you don't quite feel the disappointment because they haven't disappointed you yet. But you know they're going to, and yet you still have hope and you still wait. And then when they do disappoint you, it's doubly disappointing because you had faith in them not to do it, and they did it anyway. I got to go back. God damn it. Somebody was yelling at me. Hey, Cap, what's up? Castro, how far behind am I? Oh, half an hour. That's not bad. I read a lot of friggin' pages. There was like 8 pages. So I got it all out, and there you go. Let me catch up. Captain Kern, how you doing? Ellie said, I'm sorry, hun. I bet it was amazing, especially since you haven't done it in years and are relearning your muscle memory of creativity. All for my drawing. Thank you. Thank you, Ellie. That means a lot to me. Draw nature. You're surrounded by it. Yeah, I know, but there was something like that I really wanted to draw because it was my first, it was my first drawing. And, you want to make it special. And I wanted it to be something that I would always remember. And let's just say, except for my son, it didn't go over well. So I won't be doing that again. Like, I don't share my art with people usually because I tend to be really insecure about it and people are assholes. So I don't share the things that mean something to me. I share like the cartoon shit and whatever. But anything that like means something to me, I don't share. So when I do, I'm terrified. And it's so easy to just crush me. That picture got me crushed a couple times. So it wasn't the best weekend for me. Oh, that's Ellie yelling at me. I should have known. Damn it, Shelly, you better pick that pencil up and fucking draw a deer, duck, chicken, do it. What if I drew a deer, duck, chicken? That would be weird. What parts would I give it? Like, would it be the body of a deer and the head of a chicken and like the feet of a duck? Or would it be like the body of a duck with the head of a deer and feet like a chicken? Or would it be a deer that lays eggs? I don't know. Like, see, I gotta think about it. God gave everybody talents. Besides figuring out your talents, you're supposed to work on them and refine them. Yeah, you're supposed to. I mean, that's why he gave it to you. That's why I said you either use it or lose it. And I mean, my grandmother always used to say that if you don't practice, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to get better, and then you're going to get worse because you're going to get rusty. It's like, ugh. Because I hated practicing piano. I hated practicing the piano. It's just because I'm not a natural piano player. Like, it just does not come natural to me the way it does to her and my aunts and my uncle and my mother. Like, it's not for me. But that's not an acceptable response in my family. Like, if they want you to do something, you better fucking learn how to do it. It didn't matter that I couldn't, be good at it. And then my cousin Jennifer came along and she plays the piano literally from under the piano upside down in reverse. And I'm like, you fucking show off. And she's like, come on, I'll play piano with you. You remember chopsticks, right? I'm like, bitch. Like, she's like, come on, play It's Now or never. Oh, I know, play that Elvis Presley. Are You Lonesome Tonight? That one's easy. I'm like, see, this is where I want to punch you. I love her to death, but I'm not musically inclined with instruments. She is. She can play any fucking instrument there is. And it's just like, she didn't even get taught like professionally. She didn't go to school for it. She just picked it up, just like grandma, by ear. She just knew how to do it. And it was like, how the fuck are you born with this ability? And she developed it over time. I do not have that ability. At best, I can play the right hand nowadays of chopsticks. And I hope you're not looking for timing because that ain't going to happen. Because I psych myself out because I'm not as good as they are. So I just figure I'm just not good and why try? T3, hun, don't allow her 3 words to stop you from drawing or doing the things that you enjoy or are great at. Unfortunately, her 3 words, that's enough to stop, like, really stop me in my tracks. It really is. Anyway, Captain Kern said, then God must love to torment me. I've suffered for 90% of my life on earth. Mm-hmm. Even while thanking him for the blessings I had, even to the point of taking what is worth the most to me, my daughter. Yeah, but you know what? I get that. I do. And there's not a whole lot I can say to make you feel better. All I can say is he's keeping her safe. So you, one day when you've lived your whole life and you know that she would want you to live a long, happy life and shove as much life into that time as you can, she's just going to be waiting for you. You know, you'll be reunited, but her purpose was done. And I don't want to hurt you by saying it, but if God took her home, he removed her from the pain of being here. He removed her from the situation. Did it happen in a good way? No. But you got to imagine she's at peace. She's not feeling any pain. She is in her perfect form. She is surrounded in light and love. She knows no fear, no hardship, no heartache. And yeah, you miss her. And it's a loss. That just says what an amazing person she was. Your grief, you're missing her, just tells the world how wonderful she was because of how much she meant to you and how deeply you felt the loss and continue to feel it. That's a person of substance. That's a person who has carved their way into somebody else's heart, not because they feel entitled to it, but because that's where they want to be. And you let her into your heart because you wanted her there. She's never leaving that space. She's always going to be in your heart. But she doesn't have to struggle anymore. You know, she obviously was having struggles. And rather than have her live with the lifetime of mental torment from what she went through, she went home. She went to her first home. And someday you're going to go there too. And then you get to be with her forever and the rest of your family and everybody you've ever loved. You know, you get to spend eternity together with no strife. You know, no outsiders, no negativity, no pain, no lack of mobility. It's very little comfort when you're missing somebody. But maybe like 10 years down the road, you'll remember I said it and go, well, maybe she was right. I still miss people that I lost 35, 40 years ago. And I'm thankful because they meant so much to me that I still miss them. There are people that I have known for 10 years that I can't remember their names because they didn't mean anything to me. They were just like everybody else. I could have passed them on the street 1,000 times and never noticed them. They had no impact. They left no impression. But then there are people that I knew for a couple months that I can't forget. And I wouldn't want to, even if it hurts. I get it, Kat. I get that you're in a lot of pain, physical, emotional, psychological, whatever. I'm sure that you have it all. I mean, I feel it whenever you're around, but you have good things too. You know, you have people who love you. You have people who believe in you, people who want to see you succeed, people who think you're funny, even your dad jokes. You know, people care about you. It might not seem like that's a lot, but that's a lot more than most people get. It's a lot more than most people get. You made her feel loved. She knew you loved her. Arguments aside, whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, she knew. Really, you can't ask for much more out of life than that. She loved you and you loved her, and that's everything. It's what we all work for, we strive for more than anything else in this world. We yearn for it. We're desperate for it. You can't live without being loved, and you made your little girl happy. You can't control what other people do, but you made her happy. And you know you did. You got to really keep that close to your heart. Don't ever lose sight of the fact that you were a good dad and she was a good girl for you and you had a really good relationship. The more you miss her, the more it means that you loved her. And I'm sure she knows that. She's watching. I guarantee your daughter will never leave you. Especially after what I learned about her watching like your streams and everything. She seems like she would be right next to you no matter what you're doing. Every time you fuck up a 3D print, she's probably laughing her ass off. I knew that was going to happen. Like just little things. That imaginary voice that you hear in your head once in a while, maybe it's not imaginary. You could be picking up, I believe in that. I believe they hang around. Anyway. And maybe God torments you because you're stubborn. No, I'm just playing. I'm not playing them. Maybe you are stubborn. Maybe you are. Maybe there's things that you're just not seeing yet. There's one's lot in life or a Lot's life. Well, just don't be Lot's wife. Then there's Job, or having a life with circumstances similar to Job. Yes. How we handle it with God at the helm or not matters. See, Job is a thing. Like, I don't know that I could go through everything Job went through and still be like, it's all right, God. No, because I think me and God are going to have it out. Like, I'm going to be yelling and he's going to be listening and going, ooh, I slipped when I gave her a temper. Like, I don't think God wants me to be just accept everything and whatever. Don't fight back, because otherwise he wouldn't have made me the way he made me. Captain, I didn't see your chat when I typed mine. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Shani Graham, for the longest time, I needed the love. Yeah, I know that feeling. Then one day I woke up and I saw that they didn't love but took advantage of my love and kindness. And now I call them out and I walk away. They know I'm right. And you have to do that. It's one thing to love other people, but you got to love yourself too. You got to say, hey, I'm not some piece of shit that you get to treat like that. Like, I'm worthy. If you can't see what I am, who I am, the worthiness and the goodness in me, the way I see it in you, then this is not going to happen between us. Like, then I need to walk away, because there are other people who would appreciate who I am and how I feel and what I do. I wouldn't have to fit into this mold of expectation that they have for me, that you have for me. I don't have to change me to make you happy because you think you deserve something else. If you think you deserve this, then go find it. Because if you didn't find that in me and you're overlooking all the good things about me because your priority is this, 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 and this, then do me a favor, have a blessed life, and go look for that somewhere else. I can't give you that. And I deserve to be with somebody who doesn't want me to twist myself inside out and like change everything about me because it makes them feel more secure, or it fits some weird desire that they have that they can't, move away from, that they can't see beyond. And there are people who are like that. They'll tell you, they love you and this and everything else, but they love what they want you to be. They don't love you as is. They love, the fantasy version that they've made of you. They love the ideal that they've made of you. And those are people that you're never going to make them happy. You're always going to be a disappointment to them, whether they admit it or not. And it's going to weigh on you. So yeah, Shani, like if somebody doesn't appreciate who you are as you are, then that person really isn't meant for you. You don't wish them ill. I mean but be like, okay, I am not that person. I'm sorry that I disappoint you in your expectations, but if that's what you absolutely want to be happy, you need that, then you should go find it. Because I'm not it. It's hard to admit those things, though. Ellie said, "Oh my God, I have a child who is naturally talented piano player. The fucker can play by ear." Yep. But to get him to the piano lessons and learn to read sheet music is like pulling teeth. Oh, exactly. Sheet music is the devil. It sucks all the joy out of playing the damn instrument. It's just, I used to like to just make noise. That's nice is a similar phrase for me that has taken the wind out of my sails a time or two. When I've worked hard at something or done a project I thought I did well and was proud of. Yeah, I feel you. Exactly. When they go, oh, yeah, that's nice. Because it's not just the words, it's always the demeanor and the tone, right? Because they're not being like, oh, that's nice. Like, there are ways to say something is nice that actually express appreciation of what you're seeing. Like, make the person feel, like, oh my God, they really liked it. And then there's, oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, that's nice, I guess. Whatever. I've heard them all. And it's just like, and I have this weird thing where I always feel like I'm not emoting enough of what I think. So it winds up coming off kind of like awkward because I'm like, oh my God, that's great. Because I'm like, I love it. I just keep repeating the same fucking thing. And because I don't have the words to express how much I like it. And so that could be misread. So, I mean, it's either one or the other, Heidi. Like, I either get the, oh, it's nice, or I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I fall short in my appreciation of things. Not my gratitude appreciation, but like my value of things, like my critique, I guess. My estimation. But yeah, no, that going, oh, it's nice. Yeah, that's enough. It rips your heart right out. Rips your heart right out. Snipperoni, I'm a little behind. Draw again. I will go sometime between paintings. It always takes a bit to get back in the groove. You just have to keep going no matter the criticism. Yeah, but I shouldn't be getting criticism from my fucking mother. Not on that. Like, your mother should never, like, you're supposed to be encouraged by your. No, mine just makes me like, oh no, I just want to crawl into a hole and die. Thanks, Ma. Heidi said, unfortunately, I too have used the "that's nice" phrase without meaning to, because the same feeling for someone else. Because I genuinely meant it was nice, thinking back to it. I mean, ouch. Yeah, I know. I know. That's why I said, like, sometimes we say it, but it's also the way you say things. That matters. Tone is huge with me. Charles and I used to argue all the time. He'd be like, I didn't say anything wrong. I'm like, what would your wife say if you said something like that to her? And he was like, she'd be crushed. Why? Tone. I have a problem with tone. Yeah. I used to love turning that shit on him because he'd be like, you got no reason to be upset. What would your wife say if you answered her like that? He'd be, don't you start that shit. No, let's just humor me. That was the only way to get him to see that he wasn't acting well. Like, he was being a dick. And it was just, he was like, all right, I get it. I'm like, you wouldn't, like, if your kid came up to you and said something, would you talk to her the way you talk to me? No. Why? And you can't say, because she's my kid. He's like, because it would hurt her feelings. But yet you think it wouldn't hurt mine. Well, you're older. And I have older feelings and more trauma. So try again. Like, he used to take a while for him to get there. But eventually he would, figure it out and be like, all right, yeah, tone. Tone is everything. And I am that person who listens to what you're not saying. I count all the indirects, all the nonverbals, all the little sound cues that you don't know you make. And they add up and they defeat me in that moment. to where I got to be like, I got to walk away for a minute because nope. I'm either going to walk away for a few minutes or I'm going to walk away indefinitely. Like, those are my two options because I can't stay right here, right now, because you're hurting me really bad and you're not even aware of it. It's hard when you pick up on stuff like that all the time because people like to tell you that you're crazy, oh, you're imagining it or whatever. No, the feeling is there. The hurt is there. Being forgotten, that stays with you. Being overlooked, that stays with you. Giving when you're not getting anything in return other than scraps, that stays with you. And it tries to tell you what you're worth. And if you're somebody like me who doesn't know, that's what you base it on. And it just makes it hurt more. Don't put yourself in a position where people can take advantage of you and use you up, because they will. There are tons and tons of people out there who they just want to live an easy life and they don't care if they live off the blood, sweat, and tears of everybody else. They might not feel entitled to it. They might just not care. They've become so apathetic. Their feelings don't matter to them, so yours definitely don't. Those aren't people that you have to help. And it doesn't make you a bad person to put restrictions on the amount of help you give people. It doesn't mean you're bad when you draw boundaries and you say, absolutely not, I'm not doing that. Well, why not? One, I don't want to. You do know that's a valid excuse, right? That is a valid reason for not doing something. I don't want to. That's it. Nobody should force you to do things that you don't want to do. I mean, obviously it's different when it comes to like responsibilities and stuff like that. I'm talking about you taking care of somebody else. You constantly, footing the bill for somebody else. You carrying the burdens for somebody else. Like I said, God gave you your burdens. Why do you think it's okay for you to put down your burdens and pick up somebody else's? God didn't give you their burdens to deal with. He gave you yours. Take care of your own backyard. Worry about you. And then you'll be in a better position to help more people in much better ways, in healthier ways. Don't be codependent. Don't take over their whole lives and control everything that they do. And then be like, oh, well, because I know better than you do. Fuck you. Like, all right, then are you going to live every single moment of the rest of their lives with them? Because you're setting them up to fail. Or I said I do that with my kids, right? But there is something I did with Katie that I'm very proud of. People think I'm a monster for doing it. When she falls, I won't let anybody help her. They all run, and I will scream. I've screamed since she was in kindergarten. Don't help her. Leave her alone. Oh, but she fell. I'm fucking aware she fell. She'll get up, but she's struggling. Yep, this time. And she'll struggle the next time, but maybe a little less. And a little less the time after that. And a little less the time after that, until eventually she's not struggling very much. Oh, but I can help her. Are you going to be there for her every second for the rest of her life to pick her up every time she falls? Because this is not a one-off. This was not an accident. This was a normal part of a Katie day. She fell. She's got to learn to get back up. Oh, but I feel bad. But why? Why do you feel bad? If you fall in your house, do you think I'm going to run to your house to pick you up? No, bitch, you're grown. You'll figure it out. I always made her get up on her own. And nobody ever understood it. And they'd be like, you're too tough on her. I'm too tough on her? Really? There's very little that she's capable of doing for herself. Whatever she can do, I am going to make sure she's damn good at it. I'm going to make sure she can rely on her. I can't talk today. I am going to make sure she can rely on herself because nobody else is guaranteed. Day, night, holiday, weekend, weekday, it doesn't matter. The only person who's ever going to be there for Katie 100% is Katie. She has to be able to rely on herself for most things. And if I have to be a bitch to get her there, well, then that's what I got to do. Because unfortunately, she's just as stubborn as me. She's just as stubborn. So I know how to combat that. I'm going to push her until she's okay. I'm not going to let somebody be like, oh, let me help you so they can feel better about themselves. Yeah, well, where are you going to be tomorrow? So every time she falls, she can call you and you're going to run right over, right? No, that's not going to happen. So yeah, she's more self-reliant. Did I have to be, a bit of a hard ass and look like I had no heart whatsoever when I was dying inside? Yep. But I know that kid. I can't crack. Like, I can't let her see me, like, buckle. Because if she thinks that I'm going to give in any way, shape, or form, it's waterwork time and melodrama, and she will work that like you couldn't believe. She fell yesterday. Now, I ran outside. My mother's screaming, I get it. I was like, fucking leave her alone. And Katie was crying. And I was like, first of all, stop crying. That's number one, because it's fake, Sybil. Like, turn it off. You're not hurt, right? You're not hurt. She was like, no. I was like, you're not scared. You're embarrassed. And your grandmother's being really fucking loud. And, like, ignore her, because it doesn't matter what she says. I'm your mother. Calm down. Catch your breath. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get on your knees and you're going to crawl through the door until you can get on something that you can push up on, because she was on the porch. There was nothing for her to, like, lever herself. And that's what you're going to do. Take your time. I was like, if you want, you go to the bedroom. Do it there. I gave her 15 minutes. Every once in a while, Kate, you all right? Yeah, I'm not up yet, but I'm getting there. Okay. Mama was like, go help her. Go help her. No, shut up. I told her right out. I said, just shut up. Mind your business. I was like, don't tell me how to raise my daughter. I know what my daughter needs. You will never be able to tell me what my kids need, because you don't know them like I know them. So just stop. And she was just like, oh. One of us can go help it. No, leave her alone. Is she in a rush to get somewhere? She'll figure it out then. Shut up. And I went and I knocked on her door like 15, 20 minutes later. And I was like, yeah, right. And she was like, don't come in. I was like, oh, well, I'm not listening to that. It's like, I opened the door and she's in her underwear, just trying to, like, get up. And I was like, really? I was like, why are you still on the floor? I was like, and why are you in your underwear? Like, did taking the clothes off give you better aerodynamics? I mean, I don't understand. So, of course, I made her laugh. And she was like, I was getting hot. I was like, oh. I was like, I get it. I was like, all right. I was like, have you tried getting up? Yeah, I can't do it. I said, number one, you have no shoes on. So you have no traction. Oh, yeah, I forgot. All right. So you're going to put your shoes on. And you're going to try again. And she did that. And I'm standing there with my arms crossed waiting. I'm like, any day now. Like, let's go. And she was like, I can't do it. And I said, all right. I was like, how about we try a different way? And I gave her a new place, like, to go, because I could see where she was trying to get leverage and, like, get traction and whatever. And I knew that it was, like, too close to the edge of the bed. And I knew she wasn't going to have room to, like, do what she needed to do to get herself up. But I wasn't going to tell her that. I wanted her to figure that out on her own, which she did. And then I said, all right, now that we figured out that you're too close to the end of the fucking bed and that's why you keep sliding off, how about we do this? And I gave her a suggestion and she was like, all right, I'll try it, but I don't want you in the room. I was like, that's fair. And I left and I stood outside the door listening because that's what I do. And I heard her after like 5 minutes, like grunting because she's like really like, because her muscles were beyond tired at that point. And I was just like, I just waited. And she did. She got herself up on her elbows on the bed. And because she had the sneakers on and not socks, she was able to get the traction she needed to get her legs up under her. And because of where I told her to stand by the bed, she was able to kind of just like flip over and sit on the bed rather than have to like try to push herself up and stand because her legs were done for the day. And she was like, Ma! And she screamed. I'm like, I'm right here. She was like, oh, you've been there the whole time? Yes, I've been there the whole time. And she was like, oh, I figured. I was like, whatever. But she got herself up. My mother's like, you could have done that in 2 minutes. You could have had her up. I said, yeah, in 2 minutes, I could have had her up. She wouldn't have figured out any of the problems that she was having. She wouldn't have solved those problems. She wouldn't have figured out a better way. And she wouldn't be confident that if she falls again, she'll be fine and she'll be able to get up. And I'd have a broken fucking back. So I don't do things your way. I do things my way because they're better. Like, you want to fuck around and find out? Like, we'll fuck around and find out, mother. Let's go. I've been doing this a long fucking time. Kid is going to be 30 in June. 30. My daughter's going to be 30. Dear God, shoot me. And I've been taking care of her, you know, with these conditions since she's 22 months old. Nobody else ever came along and helped. You know, they tried to take care of her by enabling her. I tried to make her stronger. She was actually mostly like the inspiration for me looking up that damn video and then doing this whole stream. Where am I? How did I get so far back? No, I couldn't be that far back. I guess it was, yeah. So I'm a little behind her again. All right, we did that one. Heidi said, my middle was that way with their violin. If it wasn't for the orchestra in school, I wouldn't have been able to get them to go to lessons. Yeah, that's the one thing. Like, orchestra and band in school was probably would have been helpful, but I went to Catholic school and we didn't have that. We had choir, which I was in for 11 years. I was in choir. I loved going. We called it chorus. We didn't call it choir, but that was my favorite part of like every day. Because if you don't know me, I love to sing. I'm not good at it, but I love to do it. It gives me joy, and I'm going to do it regardless. She tells me all the time I can't sing, and her husband's like, are you deaf? He was like, I love her voice. Oh, thank you. He's always like, it's a hell of a lot better than yours. He tells her all the time, you couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. She really can't. She cannot sing at all. Snipperoonie said, I was told it's all good recently. It hurt me deeply. Yep. It doesn't sound bad, but in the moment it was. It's the context in which it's given. It's also the expectation you have at the time that it's said. Like, if you're expecting something else or you've played it out in your head, whatever they do that is deviant from that, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. How far behind is she? Not far. Nope, not far. I just about gave myself a heart attack shoveling and snow blowing. Oh, Lord. See, I have all grass now. It's great. There's no snow left at all. It all washed away. Okay, it's fucking raining, but whatever. Heidi said, you're imagining it. You're overreacting. You're hypersensitive. What do I have to do? Walk on eggshells around you? Get over it. And so on. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I hate when people say that shit to me. They're like, oh, I got to walk on eggshells. No, but how about you not be an insensitive dick? How about that? And you could love somebody and still be like aggravated by them, just so you know. You have to be careful with the snow. Yeah, Lefty, be careful with your back, man. 15 minutes behind. I am 10 minutes behind, not even 9 minutes. Ha ha. She's almost in the future for her. Yeah, a little bit. If she were Marty McFly, she'd be back in 1985. 1985, doo doo doo. I love that song. We hate time, make it stop. When did Motley Crue become classic rock? And when did Ozzy become an actor? I love that song. She's still preoccupied with 1985. 1985 was a good year. Daddy was alive. I'll take 1985 any day of the week. And then we got Heidi. Aw, thank you, honey. You didn't have to do that. We got a $5 super chat from Heidi that says, love and appreciate you, Miss Stubborn. Thank you very much for that, honey. Let's see. What do you want? What do you want? Oh, I know which one she wants. I'm going to give you more than one, but here's your first one.
What? Did I put it in the wrong place? Probably. I've been doing that lately. I'm putting things in the wrong place. Where did I stick it? Did I stick it in the wrong place? Uh-oh, don't do that. I'm going to go over to Shelly's and see if I put it over there. What have I done? What are you going to fit in that thing? That's so small.
I had to. Oh, lordy, 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 dude. Let's have a little show.
Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your super chat.
There you go. So you got the best of both worlds. All righty. It is 3:30. I'm going to go help this kid set up his damn DoorDash so he can leave me alone. You have no idea how many text messages I have right now. It says 17, but there are some that I opened and I didn't read, all because he doesn't know how to set up the DoorDash. So I will help him set up the DoorDash, but then he's on his own. Thank you guys for showing up. Heidi, thank you so much for your super chat. You didn't need to do that. But I appreciate it. I do. I appreciate everybody. And thank you to my stream sponsor, T-Rex, coming in with friggin' 2 chats. He did was it just, no. We got $20 super chat, $19.99 super chat, and a $49.99 super chat from T-Rex. Thank you very much. You guys made my monthly quota for just today. That's great. I almost never make my monthly quota. It's like a, once every 2 monthly quota. Oh, somebody's home because I hear pots and pans. Son of a bitch. I felt very Dean Winchester right there. But thank you guys for hanging out with me and for listening to what I had to say. Hopefully it'll help some of you. I know a lot of you will be listening to this on the replay. And just remember that unless somebody really recognizes what you do for them and appreciates it, you have every right to reevaluate what you're doing. You don't have to stop everything. You don't have to continue everything. But what you should do is take a step back and take another look at it and adjust. Could be a minor adjustment, could be a major adjustment, could be, total immersion, could be total exclusion. You don't know. But you won't know until you take a really critical look at it and try to separate yourself from the emotion of it. When you're dealing with somebody who doesn't make you feel good about the things you do in life, or somebody who takes advantage of you, or you even have a doubt in your mind that this person is, on the up and up, if you think they're taking advantage, you owe it to yourself to not give in to guilty feelings, because guilt is a useless fucking emotion. Don't give into that. Take a step back and really look at it. Take the emotion out of it. Try to find the reason. Try to find the logic. Try to give it a little distance, cool off a little bit, and really take a good look and reevaluate. You can always change your mind. There is nothing written in stone for you. But if you don't take care of yourself and look out for yourself, nobody else is gonna. It's okay to love yourself. It's necessary. Because if you don't feed the needs in you, you're not going to have anything left for anybody else. So, having said that, I love you all. Thank you all for being here, for being with me and hanging out and listening to me give my worthless opinions. But I appreciate you all. I really do. I really do. That's why I've had that banner scrolling. I don't know if any of you noticed it said, please know that I appreciate each and every one of you so much. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, bumps and all. Yeah, you're all fucking awesome. Make sure you remember that. Remember that you're fucking awesome, because I remember it. Now, having said that, son of a biscuit eater? Nah, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. You got to say it the Dean Winchester way. Last knows what I mean. We have a thing for the Winchester boys. But anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Happy hump day. And I will probably do a show tomorrow. I'm planning to do a show tomorrow. I just don't know on what. So we shall see. I don't know. Something will inspire me. It always does. Anyway, I love you. Take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you in the Funny Papers. Bye.
Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. 4 a.m. at a diner, stop singing, living on a
And doggone it, people like me.
I'm thinking maybe you're a Jersey girl with all those highlights in your hair. No other girl can move like you. We pump our fists, damn right it's true. And I don't care what they might say, they'll never get us anyway. So be my Jersey girl, and take a little ride with me tonight. And let's get dirty, girl. I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. The way you turn it up, turn me on, and then you take it off. Make it hot, make it loud. We'll wake the whole town. Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Be